have to accept this about me, Darj. My brain just works a little different. Welcome, everybody.
Hey!
Welcome. Are y'all ready to play some Star Trek?
Yeah. Sure.
Everybody be quiet for a second, and then buttons. All right. So, aboard Deep Space Nine, there's a conference that is going to happen within the next day or two. It's essentially a meeting of various Federation officials, as well as a couple of Starfleet and some specialists in specific areas related to it, and of course Bajoran representatives. And what it is it's like a little summit about what's been going on with Bajor so far. It's been roughly 6 months since y'all first got to Bajor area, since the first episode. Essentially, it's been roughly 6 months, and it's been about a month since that last episode. So again, y'all don't remember very much of it, but some people do.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, that'll pay off at a later date. Not today though.
Mm.
But but they're having this conference because it's been 6 months, and there was originally a summit before of what are we going to do for this first 6 months. This is strategic 6 months, right? So now they're all kind of meeting again, but with a bigger group of people, because everybody wants to hear the progress reports that are being presented by certain people, including Jagar. Jagar, you're actually supposed to be what's going on is that the conference hasn't started. There's actually an informal dinner that Commander Sisko is kind of hosting. He doesn't really seem super enthusiastic about hosting it, but he got to make some Creole and Cajun food, so that makes him happy at the least. That's a vibe everybody's getting. He's not into the whole politics. He doesn't want because at this point in the series he's still a little I don't want to say distant from Bajor, but he still has a weird relationship with him since since he became the prophet, the emissary and all this stuff. It's really weird for him right now. Anyway, they're supposed to have a conference, y'all are supposed to have a conference tomorrow where there's multiple meetings discussing the progress of Bajor, and you specifically, Jagar, you were going to be presenting on, because you're a fleet liaison officer, you were going to be giving a presentation on the movements and kind of what everybody's been up to. You were going to give the overview of what all 5 ships in the area have been up to with Bajor. And then you were also you already had gotten ahead of time in the last 2 weeks, you've gotten with those other ships and have gotten a scope of what is needed on Bajor in the next 6 months to a year. And you've sort of made a schedule of what those things are and when they kind of need to be enacted, and when certain supplies, and that, just the whole overview, the operations overview of it. Because again, you're fleet liaison, so you're accounting for everybody's stuff. You help everybody get what they need, if that makes sense. So anyway, again, a formal dinner tonight that you were about to head out to. You're actually in your quarters and you're getting ready, and you're about to be on your way when and you're the highest ranking officer aboard at the moment, because pardon me, I want to say Paul, Nemian, Captain Bers, Captain Bers and Shiv are already at the thing. Shiv kind of dragged his feet, but he got there. Captain Bers, he's pretty neutral, so he knows he just has a purpose to serve. And not everybody's there yet. That's why it's not starting tonight. There's actually a few other representatives aboard a Vulcan ship that are on their way. Which, speaking of, you're literally finishing up a couple of things. You're putting some stuff together, and you get a message from the bridge, or you're really just a message that's going out to everybody that's high up. So, bridge to Jagar.
Jagar?
Commander, we've detected a distress signal from I want to say a sector over, another sector, the next sector over. So we've detected a distress signal from the next sector over, from the, what do we call it? The Vethic.
Oh, okay. What is there any information?
At this point, like, you know, you can hear Bers and Shiv, like, kind of they've chimed in and gotten the same information. Bers orders. He tells you, Shigar. He says, Shigar, report to the bridge and see what you can find out.
Okay. Will do, Captain.
And then, and then they get out. And the thing is they're still aboard. So and he even tells you, I'll be on my way in a moment. I'm gonna get it. You know, he's got obviously people to deal with there. Right. So as you're on your way to the bridge, which also if Uvana and Nolan, sorry. If Ivana and Nolan aren't on the bridge already, what are they doing? It's like y'all are just docked, so it's not like y'all are absolutely needed at the bridge at all times, but if you're doing something, like you're both, like right now is actually both your off time. Let's just say you're both off for right now. Like you just got off duty.
I'm hanging down in station ops.
Okay. And what about you, Uvana?
I think I would be having just a stim type drink, not alcoholic, of course, but relaxing in my quarters with something coffee like.
Okay, well, at that point, you both get called to the bridge. Like whatever you're doing, you've both been off duty for maybe an hour, so you both get called to the bridge. And then on all of you on your way to the bridge, there's like it's like something passes, and you can't see it or necessarily feel it, but you know it. It's like something like like just waved its way through your minds, but you feel like unaffected by it, if that makes sense. It feels like a wave, like in the ocean that just passed over you.
Did everybody else's hair on their arms just like raise up?
I'm completely soaked still, so that no. But
yeah,
I
you come
something.
Like as you like Jagar, right as you like were getting out of the turbo lift, this happened. The other two, this is like probably right before you just get through a door or a turbo lift near the bridge. Like you feel it. We'll say the two of you are actually coming to the same part of the turbo lift, and you both feel it right after you step into the turbo lift.
Someone just walk over my grave or something.
It felt like an ocean breeze without any wind.
Without the ocean, yeah. Well, I was just in the water, and I was just missing that, and you know, it kind of completes the picture. But it's not supposed to happen outside of water.
Okay, well, you both make it to the bridge at this point. Like, a moment later, it's opened, and everybody, like, when you walk in, like, Jagar and the others seem to be, like, they seem to have felt the same sensation. However, when you two walk in, nobody that's already in the bridge immediately noticed it because it just happened. But when you two get in, there's actually a Vulcan person. There's, like, a Vulcan at the science station that is slumped over now.
I'd brush over.
Yeah, somebody call medical.
Okay, and Dr. Hoff immediately, like, he responds and he says, Commander, I have reports coming in from all over the ship that various crew members in various states of disarray. I'll be there as soon as possible. Like, he's saying, I have all this going on, but I'll come to the bridge immediately. Because, bridge takes precedence.
Right. We have a bridge officer down.
Yeah, and so, but he's letting you know that's like what his status is.
Would that Vulcan officer be the only telepath on bridge?
Yes.
Interesting.
The Vulcan, when you get over to her, she does like respond. She's responsive, but she's very. She looks like somebody who just like woke up from sleeping like for a while. Like she just looks very like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
she's like, whoa. Yeah, just there you go. Thank you. I couldn't think of the words. She's disoriented, but she seems to be mostly fine. She does complain of sort of like a nagging headache now. And then the doctor gets there like maybe a minute later. And he's scanning.
Commander, right before this happened, I think everybody just felt this presence or this wave of something pass over us. Should we maybe investigate like what that happened, like the source of that feeling? Did the sensors pick up anything? Uvana?
Yeah, I was going to say, Ivana, can you check the sensor logs? And can we ask the doctor, have you noticed anything about the different people who have been affected by this? Because like the three of us are fine, not everybody. Do we have any information yet on the affected crew members?
All that I know, or her actually, I need to get in his voice. Well, I keep wanting to say captain, so if I say captain on accident, pardon me. I'm just used to using that. Well, Commander, I have already immediately noticed that with I've already immediately noticed that with the reports on it being
doctor's
Vulcans,
been taken.
Yeah, I know. No, but he says, I've already immediately noticed that many of the reports coming in have been in which Vulcans, Betazoids, and other telepathically inclined species aboard have been affected by this.
Great.
And then, boom, that's the end of the bumper. And here we go into the intro. Let me find it. Sorry, everybody. There. All right, Shigar, you're up.
Second officer's log. Just minutes after receiving a distress signal from the Vethic, a Vulcan cruiser transporting Representatives Silas, Laredo, and Specialist Falro, a shock wave hit the station, and it has caused many of those with telepathic traits to suffer all manner of maladies, from simple headaches to seizures. Even one Vulcan has gone comatose. The captain and the first officer are stuck in a lockdown with other Federation, Starfleet, and Bajoran officials protecting them. I'm in command of the Shran, thanks to being late to the informal get-together. I was tidying up the last few bits of my presentation while getting ready for dinner. Now, I'm investigating a distress signal and whatever anomaly may be threatening the life of 3 important Federation officials. Cool.
But
Very
Buster,
good reading. I like
but Buster, we got double audio on everybody except you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, something happened. Okay. Let's... Y'all say something. No, for a second there you were muted. Sorry about that, guys and gals.
Testing 1 2.
What?
Testing 1 2.
Do we want to just start with the?
You should be good now. You should know. You're
the reading
fine
again.
No, it's fine. They said it was minor, so
yeah. All right. Okay. So you'll just cut this out and yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I won't even cut this part out. Sorry to those of you on YouTube. So, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Apologies. So you know, you just did your log. So where are y'all going from now? So what you do, like I said, what the log said in specifics, they're just like basically because it's like there's some really high up Federation people there. Like including an admiral or two and things like that. They just basically the station's gone on lockdown. The station is like
And
no one
I
comes
was
out and no one goes in.
I was reaching over the doctor and the officer who was there and checking the sensors. So is that a roll that we need to
Yes,
do?
that's that. Yeah, that's I
Okay.
wanted to wait for you to do that and then till now. So yes, please, go ahead and do. And if somebody
Pressure
will, like,
roll.
Darj, will you get the Shran out? Yeah, will you pull the Shran sheet out?
Sure.
And
Here it is.
okay, thanks. Smart
Control and
ass.
science.
Yes. Yeah, control and silence, I guess. Because you are using something on the ship.
Complication 2.
Hold on. I think we reason that reason is finding out something. Control is using that knowledge.
I thought insight was where you use knowledge you already have.
Oh, right.
Control is
Insight
more about like you're calibrating. You're kind of
that is actually operating machinery.
Yeah. So that's why I had that.
You're
for
right.
A second.
You're right. Yeah.
So go ahead. Yes.
It's
Control.
insight and reason.
Task roll
Yeah.
2. I'm gonna say it's a difficulty of 2. Because you got a distress signal and then a shockwave. Okay. That's fine. You succeeded.
What does the ship do?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Roll for the ship.
Sensor science?
Oh yeah, sensor science. 100%. Okay. Well, she succeeded either way. So let me pull something out that I have saved for you. So sorry, I'm copy pasting a message I had pre-written for Ariana today. And I'm so good at freaking Discord. God. Jesus. Okay, cool. There's your answer. What you say is up to you. I said the say lot, but that's not the name of the Vulcan ship. It's Vethic. Sorry. That was me just using a filler word.
Commander, I am detecting at the edge of long-range sensors another ship. It was close to the Vethic. I believe I can determine their flight path and trajectory as well.
Okay.
So we need to go to these ships, right?
Yeah, you have the Vethic, which is the one still broadcasting distress signal. But
Okay.
but also, and since she did the long, I'm just gonna give this to you. This like the whatever shockwave, you can tell by it did come from nearby the Vethic, and given that you also detected another ship near the Vethic, that it's likely that the other ship is maybe the reason for the shockwave, or maybe it's the Vethic. You don't know. You just know one of those ships probably had something going on, or something was going on around those ships.
Right.
But the other ship appears to be operational because, like she said, she thinks she can figure out the trajectory.
Can we tell what kind of ship it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Yeah, she can.
This does appear to be an Orion ship of some sort.
The second ship?
Yes.
So we've got a Vulcan ship and an Orion ship.
Mm-hmm.
How far away are they right now?
They're like an hour. Like it's not super. At max warp, at like normal warp, you could like at, what 7 or something. You could get there in like an hour, but at 9 or something, which in this case you would have permission to go all the way, but you could get there in like 15 minutes.
Okay.
You're just like the fastest ship in the area that can do it. With everything
Right.
else shuttles mostly and whatever, like big fucking political cruisers.
Can we actually hear is there anything coming through on that distress signal from the Vulcan ship?
Yeah. It's just a simple, or no, it's actually not like a recorded distress signal. It's one of those like where somebody pushes the button under like the counter at the bank kind of ones.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. Like it's an automated distress signal.
Okay.
But
Is there
like if it's a like a Vulcan automated distress signal isn't like something super common. They're usually pretty good at figuring it out,
Mm.
And do we have any determination on the Orion vessel? Are they putting anything out, or are they just there right
No,
now?
they're like again uh from what Ivana told you, she believes like the ship's on its way out and she thinks
So
she
it's
can
leaving.
yeah, and she
Okay.
believes that she can figure out its trajectory in the
Perfect.
meantime.
Well, then what we should do is get en route to the ship, the
The
Vulcan
Vethic.
ship,
Yeah, the Vethic.
because that's at least our starting point, if nothing else. And
And those
once
are your
we're
people,
there,
You're a ship
right,
that's designed for
for
handling this
and search,
situation.
yeah,
Yeah.
rescue. And then once we get there, maybe we can scan the area and see if we can find out more about the Orion ship.
Well, you got it. And then
Does that seem reasonable to everybody?
Sure.
I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a very, chill captain here,
yeah, but remember, these aren't chill circumstances. Like, there's some really
True.
important Federation officials. So basically, you're making all these like decisions, like within
Right.
the span of like 30 seconds.
Here we go, everybody.
Yeah,
Buckle up, buttercups.
and of course, when you get DS9, they undock you, they take care of you, they get you out of there, and then of course the captain tells you, you got this, take care, keep absolutely keep us posted as much as possible, that kind of thing. He's really letting you know, keep me in the loop, but we'll keep you in the loop over here if need be. But like he's like I said, they're just caught in a lockdown. Like they just can't help that they can't get back off the station. Commander Cisco was like, nope, I'm not playing around. Like we don't know what that was.
Yeah.
And these are really way too important people for me to risk my career, losing my career over just because they couldn't
Right.
stay in place, or somebody aboard, because they're wondering if it has something to do with the board station. So Odo had an influence on that decision as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, away we go.
So yeah, y'all start heading over, and y'all are basically, it's going to take you 15 or so minutes to get there.
Uvana, does the Orion Syndicate have any access to this sort of psionic weaponry that could create such a wave?
Ooh, that's a good
Or
question. Give her a second because I'm actually going to
Is
give
that
her.
an insight?
Yeah, and she
roll?
needs. I'm gonna say yeah. Go ahead with insight. Insight command for that one for you.
did we get
Ivana.
any momentum from the previous
Okay.
roll?
And I'll give you that name in a second.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. What was that?
Did,
What was
did
that,
we get any
Doge?
momentum from the previous roll?
No, because it was just
Oh,
a flat.
a 2. Okay.
Yeah, with a complication, which I'll deal with later.
Does this roll a 2 as well?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
The insight command roll,
Yes.
difficulty of 2 as well? Okay.
Yes. I'm actually retroactively going to say that's a difficulty of 1 because you would sort of know something about this. And I have to tell you that kind of in a more of a, like, I'm going to tell you that on Discord real quick.
Is that a reroll, or are we taking
No,
the one?
no, don't worry about it. I'm going to say you have
Okay.
focus in it too, because I didn't think about that, but yeah. Give me 1 second. Sorry for all the silence, everybody. And I can't say it out loud while I'm typing it. That's the worst part.
Is that how you usually type? You just talk to yourself?
Not all the time, but when I'm like in a group setting, I kind of do sometimes, just to keep my mind clear. Okay, there you go.
Commander Jakar, I'll make sure that both the captain or the secure Commander Shiv don't find out that you're drinking wine on the job.
Well, you know what? They ought to expect it from me at this point.
and Uvana, like how much you say is again up to you.
Right. During this 15 minutes of changing our position over to that area, I asked the commander for an aside to speak to her directly.
Let's hit the ready room.
Yeah, y'all head over into the
please.
The captain, now the commander's ready room today.
Sure.
Okay.
Am I the ranking
once the
officer
door
on the bridge
closes,
right now?
That's right.
Oh shit.
Immediately
Just
crash
keep
into
the
an
ship
asteroid.
going straight. We're on target. Do not deviate.
Yeah.
So I immediately start taking my hand off the directional controls because I was already.
So as soon as the door closes, I turn to Commander Jakar and I say, Commander, I held something back in there. The identity of the ship, as far as I know, the last I heard, my mother was serving aboard this vessel. And unbeknownst to you and most of the crew, I at one time was a part of a crew of an Orion Syndicate ship, and let's just say the activities we undertook were not something that I want on my Starfleet record and that I want to be common knowledge. But my mother, I know, she taught me very well how to use my pheromones to my advantage to influence people. And one of the things that always disturbed her was that she could not influence Vulcans and certain other species who had telepathic abilities because they were unaffected. So I know she was looking for other ways to do something similar. And with the importance of these talks, I am very concerned. My loyalties obviously lie with Starfleet, but I'm in a difficult position right now.
I've first of all never doubted you as a Starfleet officer. We all have a past and we all come from something. So I'm not concerned about you, but when we're going to have to go after your mother potentially or send Starfleet after her, is that going to be a problem?
Of course not. The ship is called the Storm Spike, and obviously I would prefer to find some way to avoid any direct fire between the vessels.
Is there anybody else on that ship that I need to know about?
This is a different crew than I was a part of, and all I know is that at one point she was serving on this one, and I'm not sure if she's even there now.
Okay. All right. Well, we know what we have to do. We've got to go. We've got to help this Vulcan ship first and foremost. And from there, does this knowledge of yours, do you think this will make it easier for you to track her ship because you know what you're looking for?
I am honestly, I think Buster, that might be a role to figure out if I know anything about this technology.
Yes. This is a yes for you. Yeah, you know enough to know some of her areas that she might hide in. And when you said that you could like track her earlier, you basically know of like several like safe spots in the area that if she was whatever's going on, like she might retreat to if she needed to retreat. or you also might know places she like routes she might take to get somewhere. It all kind of for you. It all kind of depends on what's going on with the Vulcan ship, like what's missing and what's not missing, that kind of thing.
All right. Well, let's do this. And when we're done with this, assuming that we both get out of it okay, and no shots are fired, I'm taking you out for a drink at Quarks when we're done. So
I
we're gonna be
appreciate that.
fine. We're gonna be fine. All right. We got this. All right. Game faces. Nobody needs to know anything. You just operate business as usual, and we'll see where we go from there. All right. This is me
That
as a
sounds
real
good.
boss, even.
Thank you, Commander.
Hi, I'm your head of customer support.
I've got you.
I've got you. I've got you. We're gonna be fine.
All right.
All right. Out. So we're going back out. Voss, get out of my seat. And are we? Have we made it? Have we made it to the ship yet? Or we? Can we do
Yeah. You're just as you two are getting out of there, like you know.
I assume the doctor's already helped the Vulcan.
Yeah, that person's been taken like
out
to
of
the
the bridge.
infirmary for a little bit to just kind of suss out if there's any further issues.
How many crew? How is medical
It's
doing
probably
right now?
like, okay, I would say about somewhere between like an eighth and a quarter of your crew have telepathic abilities.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Or sorry.
Well,
Kalis on a
various,
Kalis
right?
on a cracker.
Yeah, like somewhere between that. So like I like probably a fifth of your crew. So about 20%
Okay.
of your crew are like
How much
Vulcan
room do
or
we have? Because
Betazoid or like the sleuth of other kinds of people that have even a modicum of telepathic ability.
That's why everyone keeps asking me
I
what's
don't
wrong.
wanna actually, but actually the Luna class can only go warp 8.
Whatever.
So it'll be like half an hour instead of 50 minutes.
Whatever.
You know,
The prototype version goes to 9.
I was
Okay.
just looking up.
The prototype goes to 9. That's the rules now.
Fine.
Because this is a Luna prototype. This isn't actually the Luna class.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, you're an emergency vessel. Like, you need to be the fastest of the Lunas.
So it's like 75 people are incapacitated.
Okay.
Or 70, not 75.
Well, and it's
not
varying.
everybody, and not everybody's comatose.
Right.
Like some people just have bad headaches, right?
It's various.
Yeah.
Like Betazoids are actually probably pretty bothered by because their telepathy's very
advanced
compared to a Vulcan's. Like a Vulcan's is more, I don't know, there's something different with, and it also is touch telepathy. So, but the thing is like, so the Betazoids, the way they're handling it, and there's like maybe like, I don't know, 10 Betazoids on your crew or something like that. They're kind of, it was to them, it was like getting like it was like a shockwave. Like it was almost like they felt like they mentally were like blasted back from themselves for a second. Whereas Vulcans, it's different. It's much more, it's creating a more grogginess. Like aboard DS9 before you left, right? There's a multitude of people on DS9. And the like one of the people who's comatose is a Vulcan aboard DS9. And that person is well known to be very gifted with mind melding. So you know that like something about it is different for the Vulcans. It seems like everybody else is like it just kind of had kind of pretty mild effects, but for the Vulcans, it was very, very like they all felt like they got hit by a freaking truck. You know what I mean?
So we probably have about 20% of our crew either in their quarters or like,
I mean,
in med.
I'd say out of that
in
20%, probably about a quarter of them are just fine. Like they're back to duty.
Okay.
They were fine within just a few minutes.
right.
Another group of them are probably been told to like, hey, like just for a little while, be chill, like for the next like 12 hours, come back and see us, that kind of thing, and go on
Sure.
light duty or go off duty. And then there's like, you know, like there's a small group, again, mostly Vulcans, that are kind of being told, hey, we want to actually observe you because you seem to have a different effect than everybody else. A
Right. So
distinct.
would that be the entire medical bay would be at capacity, or is
No, God,
there?
no. This is literally an emergency rescue ship. There's a whole deck of this ship dedicated to sick bay.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
You have literally one of the most advanced sick bays in the whole fleet, like in the entirety of Starfleet. This is, this is, it's not that it's nothing, but it's the one thing
This
that's
is what we
really
were made
truly
for.
concerning.
Mm.
Yeah. The thing that's truly concerning about it is that your own crew are having issues when you're a
Right.
ship, obviously, that most of the time you're going to save other crews. So, yeah. So the doctor's bothered by that. Like, even like 2 or 3 of his medical school staff are like among those who are affected.
Well, and we
But,
also know that if we follow this ship and they decide to do whatever it is they
uh-huh,
potentially already did,
uh-huh.
that they could do that again. There's the possibility that they could do that again and incapacitate our
Right.
crew again.
Now,
So,
you, Commander, what you do know is that the ship is likely Uvana's mother, right?
right,
But what you don't know is would she knowingly do that to her child ship or not?
right.
You don't know what
Does
she
she even
knows.
know?
Yeah,
Right. We don't know that she knows that Uvana's on our ship at this
exactly. You
point.
don't know what's what. So there you go. So with all that said, you arrive and you get to the Vethic, and immediate scans. I'm not gonna make you roll for it because it's just part of Star Trek. Immediate scans are pulling up that the Vethic is pretty, like, it seems like from what you're seeing on scans, Uvana, is that like all lot like there's plenty, you know, it's a big ship. God, it's probably about the like it's probably about as big as it's a huge ship because it's not necessarily a cargo ship, but it is a ship that does have the ability to take great amounts of cargo. But it has like it's like a multi-purpose ship, like for whatever it's needed right now.
Oh yeah, Vulcan ships are huge.
Yeah, and the thing is not only was this ship bringing these 3 important people with it, but it was also bringing a lot of equipment that you and the other people knew, hey, before we even get to this conference, these are things that are on the docket that need to get to Bajor within the month. You know, like this is something you actually like had a part in, Shigar, like in like going, hey,
Right. This was
like
so they were doing a supply run for us.
yes, they
Essentially.
basically some of this stuff is directly from Vulcan because it's specific equipment. Like you know how like they need the soil reclamator. They have soil reclamators and some other like big equipment on Bajor, but these are like upgraded ones that the Vulcans have been tinkering with based on the like Bajor itself. Like they basically customize like a couple of reclamators just for Bajor's environment and its challenges. So there's some very customized equipment here, but there's also like there's medical supplies that the Shran needed. There's all kind, but all that's like a lot of that's missing. Like from scans, you can tell that there's like stuff missing that you knew was supposed to be coming. The life signs aboard like match the manifest of the ship. Like basically everybody's alive, but you can tell that the ship is like adrift. The ship is, so when you first get there, the ship is just like drifting. It's all everything, but it's like its life support systems are on, and that's it. So everybody's breathing, everybody's alive, but nobody seems to be awake.
So we know that everybody over there is asleep. I was going to say,
Well,
can we send?
you
Like, if
are
we send,
detecting other life forms because you are getting like somebody's trying to like send you a message. They're tapping like, but they there's something going on. They can't figure it out. You can't figure it out from here.
so we need to send an away party and beam aboard
Yeah.
this ship.
Yeah, you can just beam. Yeah.
Yay!
Shields are down. I mean, shit.
Right.
And Dr. Hoff, of course, insists on going with a
Sure,
team, with a
so-
medical team.
Dr. Hoff, do we have a reason to bust out? I was going to say, who else do we want to send? I don't know if I want to make this trip necessarily.
So
But
what
I am
we're
the captain, and captains always seem to
Yeah,
run
but
off
they
on
don't
these
always have
kind
to
of
follow that
fucking
rule.
adventures.
You're not a captain though, so you don't have to
But
follow that rule if
but
you
I
don't
am
want.
captaining this ship.
acting captain.
I am
So
acting captain, and we
nobody,
always end up.
what acting captain ever follows captain rules? Come on,
This
like
is
being
this
acting
is true.
captain is like being
Acting
the cool
captains are the
captain.
ones that immediately go off into on away.
You're like the
missions.
Yeah,
substitute.
exactly.
Unless they're data.
You're like the
Unless they're
substitute
data.
teacher that gets to play like the Princess Bride instead of like reading the book that day.
Right.
So the scans tell us that that is the full complement of the ship crew wise and other people.
Yeah, there's some other life signs aboard. There's at least two life signs that are non-Vulcan. There's that of the okay, so the people aboard, like Silas is the one that he's Vulcan. He's like a representative from Vulcan. He's the one who like is bringing this equipment. This is actually his ship, but but like it's not necessarily his ship. It's actually like he's the captain of the ship. He was like, hey, you're taking me and these people do a thing. Okay, cool. So he's kind of in charge right now. And then there's Representative Laredo, who is Betazoid. So that person's kind of having a difficult time, most likely. And then there's also the specialist, Falro, who is a Tellarite. And like I said, you get somebody's trying to they're trying to talk to you from like they're trying to hail you, but it seems like something like the power's all fizzled out and they can't quite like it's like it's you can't make it out. The computer can't
Voss,
reconstruct it.
can you clean these up at all, or do we have the ability to clean up these transmissions, or do we absolutely we're just screwed and we're gonna beam on over?
It's
I mean,
like a short.
Usually they ask the comms officer for this, but
That's
since
fair.
she's
You can't.
it's warming the captain's seat right now.
You can't really fix it. It's just you can tell
The
something.
console's way over there, though.
I know, it's so far. It's so far.
It's so far away. I don't want to get up.
So far away from my cup holder.
No, you can tell from my cup holder. And my my thing that I don't understand that's on the captain's chair now, the chair drop from the future. No, so you what you can tell basically at a glance is it's not about like the signal. It's literally it's like the ship's power is so screwed up. It's like it's just short on their end, and that person doesn't realize it. Like that person doesn't know to fix it. So it's literally like an analog versus a digital issue. It's like you have to go fix it at the source rather than trying to reconstruct it.
All right. So we're taking Dr. Hoff.
But my question is, since are there any sail for like from the other ship, like any other life forms aboard?
Yes,
is it safe for us to go there?
Literally everybody is Vulcan except those two crew members I just said weren't Vulcan.
Right. Okay.
So the other ship is gone. The
Orion ship, the Storm Spike is gone. And
would I have been told of any of this, or am I just?
Yeah, this is stuff that was like, well, not the Storm Spike part probably, but that the Orion ship's gone. I mean, you're there.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know. I wasn't told it was an Orion ship.
Oh.
Have we not shared that yet?
I thought she shared.
No, you guys went straight into the red room and then came back, and we're here.
No, Ivana told you it was an Orion ship, and then after that she went to talk.
Right.
So you are aware that the other ship would have been Orion. Yeah, you're aware.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I get it. You're just trying to make sure you're not using information you don't know. I get it.
Yeah. So, but none of the life forms are Orion.
No. You're not detecting.
It's not like we
we
need to go security team first before medical goes.
No, as far as you can tell, they basically they stole a bunch of stuff and then they scurried right off.
All right.
Except for these two random life signs that we can't identify. Okay.
Well, those are like I said, those aren't ones you can't identify. Those are just ones that are non-Vulcan. Those are the two
Right.
people
But
aboard
still,
that are non-Vulcan.
still, we would know who's coming, and we would know they should be on board.
Yeah, exactly. They're in the manifest, so you know. That,
All right.
like,
Well,
everybody's accounted for.
I think I'm gonna stay on the ship because I'm the most senior officer. We've like our first officer and our captain aren't here. So we really don't want to leave this place
Okay.
with the B squad. So I don't know. I feel like I should stay on the ship.
That's up to you. That's up to you. You can. I was messing with you earlier, but you seriously, like, whatever you feel is right to do.
But I do really want, I think I want Uvana's boots on the ground because I think that you might be able to run some scans and stuff like from the ship that might be really useful. And then I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing here? So we definitely need to send an engineer over there because we got to fix our shit.
Yeah,
fix their
Gator
shit.
even, like, he's, y'all, you know, at this point, like, he's on the bridge.
He's
just to
already
help.
in the transporter bay,
Yes.
waiting to go.
All right. So we've got
Yeah.
Gator, and I want. So I'm
The
gonna.
moment he saw that it was like not that
Yeah.
that he had requested permission to get a team together for when, like, hey, we'll go fix this in the meantime that y'all do other stuff.
All right. So Uvana, I want your boots on the ground. I want at least one of us over there, and we're sending Gator, we're sending Dr. Hoff, and we're sending a small security contingent probably to see if we can suss out who those two randos are.
So, like, a total of, I would say, like,
they're the guests for the conference that they're transporting.
No. I thought that there were two people that we weren't expecting.
No. Sorry. Here, this is where the confusion is. 3 of the people aboard. One is a Vulcan. One is that Betazoid.
Tellarite.
And the other's a Tellarite. Those the Betazoid and the Tellarite are the two, like, life signs that aren't Vulcan. So,
that aren't Vulcan.
And like I said, somebody's trying to contact you. And based on the information you know that this affects telepaths, that it's likely the Tellarite who's trying to get through.
And that, okay.
It's very likely the Tellarite
to be doing what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and Tellarites are pretty tenacious. So they'd be the kind who'd be like, come on, listen to me.
So
you know?
we need our chief engineer to go. He's Tellarite as well, right?
Yeah, our chief engineer's fine.
No, he's Tellarite.
No, he's Gator.
No, Gator is a specialist. Pardon, Gator is the chief engineer of the Shran. Yes,
but he's a Tellarite.
No, he's
Gorn.
He's Gorn.
Oh right, no, who's a Tellarite?
Tellarite is the person on the other ship.
No, but we have a Tellarite, or is that on Vasquez?
That's probably we don't have a Tellarite. Dr. Hoff is like a Zindi, like, arboreal or whatever. I don't think we have a Tellarite.
Pretty sure we had a Tellarite.
The only Tellarites I remember making were we got to move on. But the only Tellarites I remember making, like, when I was first thinking this campaign up, is there's actually 2 surgeons that are twins that are Tellarite sisters.
Okay.
But there's no major characters aboard the ship, I think, that are Tellarite. Hoff, like I said, he looks like an ape man.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Tellarites have kind of the pig nose, so.
All right. We're sending the crew away now.
Yeah, they're going. So the security, like, they get there first to kind of suss out the areas, and then a couple of them go with each team. Like, there's a substantial medical team. Like, I would say about half of your medical staff, which is a considerable part of your crew. Like, there's a big portion of medical staff aboard the Shran, but also a lot of the people that aren't medical staff aboard the Shran, like, are preferred to, like, there's a lot of, like, crew members aboard the Shran that aren't medical, but they have experience. Like, maybe that was, like, sort of their minor. Like, it's kind of, Shran's one of those ships where it's like as many people as possible to have medical, because that you never know when the crew gets spread out like this.
I mean, even I have emergency medic stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like tons of crew members on, like, at the minimum have, like, basically emergency medical training. That's pretty decent. Right. So anyway, so you have, like, probably. Go ahead.
As I'm standing on the transporter about to go, I I contact Commander Jagar and I just say, Commander, I wouldn't let my guard down. I have a feeling, my gut's telling me that that ship is going to come back.
Okay.
Please keep your eyes open.
So
I don't
that
think
sounds like
they're
a
done with us yet.
beam down and shields up. Can we just to
Yeah, you can like go to like yellow alert like after everybody's
Yeah.
off ship.
Yeah.
So we'll put you at yellow alert. So yeah, so y'all get okay, so let me split this up a little bit now. Okay, first of all, does anybody need to take a quick break? Anybody need to go get a drink? Because this is a good point. If everybody needs like a 2-minute, 3-minute break or something, this is a good spot. Okay, everybody go on a quick break, real quick, just so everybody can. This is basically the end of Act 1, so sweet. Dun dun dun, da 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 da, da 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 da. Enjoy your break, everybody. Da 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 da, da 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 da. Muting Discord. So now I'm going to switch y'all back over to the correct scene. All right, so we've sent the teams over. Medical is already starting to kind of like take over. Like, you know, they're just basically attending people as they see them, but they're also with life support, with everything but life support down. They're not going to be able to do much on the Vulcan ship until their medical bay is back and is functioning. So the engineering team, of course, is working on that, and the immediate reports that as far as like what's going on there is Gator basically tells you that he can get it all back to working, but he's going to have to make some contact with basically Vulcan High Command because he's going to need you know, because it's not actually a Starfleet ship, right? So it doesn't have the same structure of permissions and codes, and so basically he's in the process right now of getting in touch with Vulcan High Command, which there's he's able to, and they're basically like walking him through some ways to like pull the ship back up, and they're giving him some temporary like command codes basically. So he's just telling you he's bogged down with that, but he should have it, like he should have the power back up and most of it pretty quickly once that's done. So within the next like half hour, he thinks, because he says it's not really damaged, it's like it's been like scrambled. Like basically instead of this thing routed like this path going from A to B, it's like A going to Z, and he's basically having to reroute like a lot of pathways on the computers. Like the computers aren't reading what's physically there. It's like it's jumbled, and he's fixing that. Anyway, so that's the status you have. So Uvana, when you board the ship, you have like who would you take with you? Like, is there anybody off the bridge in particular you would have taken, like Nolan or anybody, or even what's her face? I'm also, just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna say that you took Yellow with you because she does have some different specialities, and she's pretty competent, you know, and she gets around into small spaces if need be, so she's pretty useful. So she's with you, and what are y'all doing? What's your goal here? Are you trying to get to the bridge? Or are you trying to just investigate? Like, what are you trying to do? Okay, so you'll basically join Gator and all them and work on that. Okay, cool. So Uvana. Oh, you are. Oh. Holy
everybody
crap.
muted?
I don't know what is going on with my scenes. It's like every time I change a scene, it's like it's muting y'all. I'm sorry. So, chat, well, to summarize what we just discussed, they are basically, you heard what I had to say, but they're asking about like Nolan's going to with the engineering crew, and then Uvana, we were just getting about, well, what are you trying to figure out?
So I would say Yolo and I are going to head to the bridge, and Yolo will be looking at at the piloting controls and trying to see what needs to be restored there. And I'll, of course, be looking at everything else science related, looking at the scanners and anything else that could be damaged, trying to figure out what needs to
what
happen
happened.
to get this ship back underway fully. Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm going to do multiple things right here since we're all kind of everybody seems to have the same goal of getting power back up. Y'all seem to be prioritizing that as a team here. So I'm gonna have Gator roll some. First, he's gonna do some command presence because he is talking to the Vulcans real quick. I'm just gonna run that for him real fast. And yeah, he's doing okay with that. It's not going as quickly as he'd like, but it's doing all right. It's fine. And then Darj, go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me like like an engineering reason, because you're just trying to figure out where
So
you
that would
can
be
pull.
insight, I guess.
Yeah, or insight. Yeah, engineering
Yeah,
insight.
well, it's the same for me.
Yeah.
Complication.
Oh, like a 1. It's
Run, just regular
yeah,
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're you weren't. Your difficulty was 2 there, but it doesn't mean you're not, like, again, with the same thing with Gator. It's taking you a little longer than you'd like.
I mean,
It's
I
proving
have
to be a little more
percussive maintenance as a focus. I could probably hit something.
Yeah, do it. Just re-roll with the focus.
Damn
Nope,
it worked.
That's not how
It's
Vulcans
too advanced. Too advanced.
Vulcans
That's
do
not how
not
you fix.
design that way with that in mind. But and I'm not going to roll for the Vulcan ship, but I'm going to say it is like, because it's down in power, it's hard for it to like help you very much, so it's not really giving you much help. And then Ivana, go ahead and roll me, I would say, science and reason, but I mean, you're just trying to suss out what's going on, and you're just doing the same thing as them, kind of, but from a different perspective. So I'm actually going to have you roll science insight, because you have some insight as to these kinds of attacks and how they work. So
I also have alien piloting controls as one of my focuses.
that's,
Just a
yeah,
reminder.
that'll work.
So yeah,
That'll
okay.
apply. You're
Great.
trying to figure something out. Okay, you did really well. So you actually, like, it's like in the process of you doing what you're doing with YOLO and stuff, y'all basically activate, like, y'all kind of incidentally activate like a power source in the ship. So you haven't gotten like engineering power up, but you basically you've gotten like just general like the day-to-day kind of power on the ship up. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, just, like the replicators are working, and we'll say that you actually, like, you've pulled up enough power in the ship that you could actually divert it to medical and get medical bay running again for them.
Somewhere a vacuum cleaner turned back on.
Yeah, exactly. Like a microwave dinged. It was like last night when my power went out. My power actually did go out last night, and me and my roommate were sitting there. And then, like, as soon as it comes back on, like, the refrigerator's going ding, and then like the oven's doing the same thing. It was like 7 devices all singing at the same time.
Oh my God, they're all Samsung, aren't they, or LG?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
LG, yeah.
So yeah, you hear all the as it comes up. So you could just divert that power, like I said, to medical bay, because you do know that medical needs that.
Mm.
Or you could put it to the bridge, wherever you feel is most appropriate to put it first.
Is it, well, if it's up to me, I would probably divert it to medical for now, because there's no immediate threat. So
and you got a ship full of people that are messed up. So
right.
Once YOLO goes ahead and enacts that for you, like, she's just like, oh, you got this, and she does all that and futzes it through, and then she even calms to Hoff. She says, medical bay working again, baby. And he thanks her, and they basically, his team, they start to basically just get people like they're starting to work people that they can find. They're like literally lifting them and putting them on stretchers or whatever and hauling them off to the medical bay and getting them on biobeds. So they're working on that. They got a lot ahead of them. Eventually though, Ivana, somebody comes from around a corner, and it's a Tellarite. And she just...
Oh, yeah.
And he just is like, oh, good, you're here.
And I just turn to them and I say, was that you attempting to contact us?
Yes, I'm Specialist Falbro.
And you are a specialist of?
He's like a technology, kind of like farm technology, agricultural technology specialist. He was basically going, he was one of the people that worked on the Vulcan project to get these soil reclamators and other farming equipment work like set up for specifically like customized to Bajor. So he's like the main specialist that that helped the Vulcans do that, because he has a lot of experience with. So he tells you, he's like, I'm an agricultural specialist, technology, that kind of thing.
So do we, on board, do we have any live samples of anything or anything in the cargo that needs to be looked after?
No. It's just,
Okay.
well, it's all gone. Those Orions. Oh. And he kind of looks at you, realizing you're Orion, at least partially. So he's like, sorry, but those Orions took everything. Like, he's just being like, oh, shit.
I understand.
Do you know what happened? I've been trying to contact you from this panel over here because I can't figure out how to make the bridge work. He clearly does not specialize in starship technology. You know, he's pushing. He's just like, It all kind of confuses him.
I just kind of give him a little ego boost, and I say, well, you did a fine job because you did get us here. So well done.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
I found the button. Well, and he starts to kind of like walk. He seems like he's gonna walk you off somewhere. He starts to walk you through, or wherever you're walking. I don't know. He's just like walking or hanging out with you from that point on. And he's informed, and basically he gives you the rundown of what happened. And he informs you that what you kind of can figure out, like they came in, they attacked, but something happened and swept across, like they were in a standoff with these Orions. This lady that he tells you, this Orion captain, she was all full of herself, and she was telling Captain, I gotta think of a Vulcan name now.
I was gonna say, it just needs a T and an apostrophe.
Tafernia. There, I was just thinking about Fern Gully. Tafernia. Captain Tafernia. And you don't know if he's saying it right because he's weird little Tellarite. She was being all full of herself to Captain Tafernia and telling her that she needed to stand down and surrender her cargo and her crew, or she would prepare to be boarded. And of course, Tafernia, being a Vulcan, did not see the logic in doing so. And, she got clapped. She got clapped right in the ass. And here we are. It's something, I don't know what happened, but all I know is after they broke contact with the Vethic, a moment later, you just felt your hairs rise on your skin. And then all the Vulcans just kind of fell down. And I can't wake any of them up. I've been trying to help them, but I think they're comatose. I don't know if there's anything I can do for them. Our
medical staff is attending to them. So
good.
Try
Excellent.
not to be concerned.
I noticed that you got some power back up a second ago. I assume that's what you diverted to medical.
That's correct. We're doing everything we can for them.
Well, if there's anything I can help with, let me know, but I'm not much of a starship guy, you know?
Is there anything more you can tell me about the Orion captain?
Well, her name was Ugata. And she looked like a pretty seasoned captain from the looks of her.
I see. Thank you. That's more helpful than you realize.
Well, you're welcome, I guess. And he just kind of follows y'all around from then on, because y'all seem to be the safest people to be near. Because everything going on. With that said, I'm gonna divert to everybody, like all the engineering people. Let's go ahead and roll for all that again. So I'm gonna roll for Gator real quick. Same rolls as before. Just everybody just trying to work through everything. Yeah, he's making it. It's just a little slow for him. Gator, poor Gator.
God damn it.
Yeah, y'all are all still kind of struggling. But again, it's like piece by piece. Instead of y'all failing the task, y'all are basically like just it's going slower than you wanted it to.
Can we get some more power? I heard an oven ding somewhere over there. Can we transfer some more power into this place? Maybe it'll help us get more power,
I'll roll for Gator on this one with a engineering insight, because maybe he's thinking. Maybe
You rolled the presence command again, by the way.
Yeah, because he was still talking to the Vulcans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He didn't do too good there. He just kind of ended up making more ovens go off, because this Vulcan stuff is just he's very confused. I mean, he's not confused, but he's just like, he just says the Vulcan way of doing things is a little odd.
Yeah, it's like Starfleet is on Windows and Vulcans are on Mac, and it's like when you try to switch over from one to another, it's like everything stops you turvy. The mice, you can't use them while they're charging because the connectors at the bottom, stupid stuff like that. Very well designed, but
Yeah, it's real sleek and really gorgeous, but it also is kind of a pain in the ass. Gator says. I guess that's Gator's voice now. It might change every episode. Okay, so y'all are
unfortunately he got recast, and the new actor can't really capture the old voice.
Time for our letter writing campaign to bring him back.
Yeah. In the meantime,
hey, it worked for Star Trek.
It's true. It's true.
That's right.
Yeah, the letter campaign.
What was talking about Crusher?
No. How original series starts. Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke about the original series and that. Yeah, it was a very good joke that you missed.
And not that much of a fan of the original series, though.
Yeah, well, there was a letter writing campaign that kept it that made it go back. Like, it was going to be canceled after 2 seasons, and a big letter writing campaign made it bring another season. Okay. Yeah, so that's what she was referencing to. So in the meantime, medical reports, the medical teams report that basically, like, they're just they're gathering and wheeling and dealing, and now that they have now that the medical bay is powered up, they're doing better. Like, they're able to use, but again, it's Windows and Mac OS, right? So there's a little bit of a learning. But the Vulcan, well, they're really none of the Vulcan crew members would have come aboard with y'all because they're all kind of out. But yeah, it's they're not as out as these Vulcans on this ship, but they're not doing too good. So
say the Vulcan, because the Vulcans on that ship are like at ground zero.
Yeah,
so
there's like 2 of the medical staff that are on this. There's like 2 or 3 of them that actually have, like, in some capacity have worked with like Vulcan ships or whatever. So they're doing okay. Like, they have those people to kind of translate as needed, so to speak. And they have also located, they've specifically located the security, the security team that came aboard, assisted them in specifically finding the Federation officials, but they haven't found Falro yet, which, of course, Uvana, you can chime in there and you do, you would assumedly would and say, well, I found him. And so they're like, okay, we have him accounted for. The other two are more important than him. He's like just a specialist, whereas the other two are actual representatives. So they go ahead and request permission to go ahead and just beam them over, those two people over to the Shran, just to get them like clear of any,
Yes, yes. So, I just contact Commander Jagarin and let her know, Commander, we're sending over two of the representatives that were on this ship. Please
Excellent.
prepare to receive them.
Okay.
So yeah, y'all have to, and y'all will have to beam them over and lower your shields for that.
Right. Yep. So
Which
that's not a problem, and I've probably at this point alerted our captain of what's going on.
You've kept in contact. You've made your status
So.
reports to DS9. So the Shran should have at least 2 power knocked off by now, maybe 3 because they went to warp. But yeah, like 3 power because you beamed you beamed
Sure.
2 different things, 2 different groups of people and all that. So yeah, it should be like to a 12 or something now.
Yep.
But so they come and they get beamed directly to medical, and medical team there starts to attend to them and examine them and try, obviously Dr. Hoff on aboard the Vethic has his work cut out for him. But the people aboard, like he basically tells the people, the doctors behind on the Shran, to go ahead and like really like suss into like what's going on with those, between that bed, because that's a Betazoid person and a Vulcan. So to really take the 2 of them and examine, because they were at ground zero of this wave. So he asks them to do the more specialized, like looking into it, while he just is like trying to gather the sick and the wounded kind of thing. He's like in MASH mode while they're like, hey, y'all do some science over there. And then, and Ivana, as you're like kind of going around and you're doing what you're doing, you're seeing the telltale signs of your mother. There's certain like markers of her presence, so to speak. That one of like her signatures is she generally leaves behind almost like a brand, like she brands a piece of hull. But instead of like it being like a hot iron,
I was literally just gonna suggest that we try and use the ship scanners to see if anything's out of place on the ship or if there's anything left behind that may be recording or spying on us or anything like that.
You locate it. It's your mother's mark, and it's like I said, she'll leave like on the end, like not on the outside of it, but like it looks like she docked, like she had her ship dock from a specific port that you suspected. You probably had like the inkling that was the port, and you see like near that dock port is like it's like her, basically her symbol, like it's the storm spikes sort of hole marker,
logo,
so to speak. Like it's what it looks, it's like its insignia. And
like a brand. I want to know what that brand looks like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a brand. Like, that her guys, like whenever she has them do it, they basically get like a cutter tool out and or set it on just heat, and then they just like draw, like almost like tagging, like with graffiti. And they do that. So it's like a graffiti tag almost in a way, but it's burned into this Vulcan hull. Which, and the thing is there's some other markings with it that directly translate to you that, like kind of what you suspected, that this isn't over. And you don't know what this is, as in like what isn't over. And
as far as her goal,
like it's basically like, it's like, how like some people like have like different symbols to like, like almost like see, like mariners have like different like types of flags they use to indicate like we're in distress or she has like a similar system of like little symbols that only like her and her crew really know, but those symbols, and they're not necessarily from like Orion language. They're just like simple, this like little shapes that indicate a message. That way, that kind of thing. Anyway, she leaves that behind. So, like you said, she may be coming back at some point. So anyway, those two officers, or those two Federation officials are over there. Medical, go ahead and like with the engineering again. Let's see if y'all are getting anything done. This time I'm gonna say he's gotten all his command codes finally. Gator has, and he's just really now he's just working on getting it done. So he did good. He's succeeded. So power is starting to come up throughout the ship a little bit. And then Darj, you want to roll something to kind of go with that?
God damn.
Yeah, so basically power's restored. Everything's coming back on. Systems are arming again, you know, everything's starting to turn back on. Jagar, the whoever's at your science console or whichever console is most appropriate is informing you. It looks like they've got power because everything's turned back on.
They've got power. Can I like tag over to Ivana and see if she's just about wrapped up and
Yeah.
can give us some, come back and give some insight? Because I'm freaking Klingon. I want to hunt these bastards down and like
Yeah, and figure out what's going on.
And
Yeah.
figure out what's going on. So the sooner I can get my crew, like at least my support, my main support crew back, like medical can handle what's
They
going
can
on
keep
the
working,
ship.
yeah.
But like, I want my crew back so that we can start like
Okay.
making some big moves.
Wheeling and dealing. Okay, so
Is there another is there either shuttle or other ship we can request from DS9 to come
Oh, y'all
assist?
have shuttles aboard the Shran. Y'all have tons of them, actually.
Oh, but we
Well, I
get
mean,
more help.
I mean, in general, for
No,
more
but
help to not leave them behind while we go chase this ship down.
Oh, yeah, no. Like DS9, it was already
is
like
in lockdown.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
but
but they're
DS9 can still command other people around them. Of course, there's like those other ships that have been serving around Bajor. And of course, there's always like generally like, because it's a major space station now and it's like with how politically important it's become. Yeah, there's much more of a Starfleet presence. Like when y'all first came to Bajor, there was like maybe 5. Y'all were maybe one of like 7 ships in this sector. Now there's probably about 15 ships in this sector at all times. Even if they're not around DS9, they're near. So yeah, somebody's been assigned, like basically other ships have been flagged to go meet y'all there.
So they're en route to help. With
Yeah,
them.
like one just checked in with Jagar and
Traffic.
told her that like they basically are half an hour away.
Like, look, I know we're a search and rescue ship, but I want to go fuck some shit up.
Yeah,
like,
well, and
I want to go make an Orion's Day real bad.
Well, and
right
also
now.
it's safety in numbers, right? Because when you alert Starfleet that it's the work of an Orion pirate, they're gonna require at least a ship or two to come by because they don't want this big Vulcan ship to be left vulnerable with only one ship defending it, and that ship being like a medical ship.
Plus, we need to search for and rescue the medicals or the farming supplies that these are.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that is like, and the thing is okay. Let's just say instead of doing this, let's just say y'all all come back together. Like the ship's back on it. There's some engineering crew staying aboard to help y'all to like kind of keep it working. But basically, Voss, Ivana, the 2 other important people here and a couple others.
I was completely useless on the ship, so I better go.
Your efforts weren't, they weren't unnoticed. So okay, let's say all y'all like within like 15 minutes or so, like y'all 2 and a couple others, including the specialist Falro, because he's the only one conscious enough to do, and that the Betazoid person, Laredo, she's fine. She's like come to by now, and she's kind of given a bit of a report to medical staff of what her perspective of, which was similar to Falro's. But basically, y'all all come back together. You're in the conference room, and you got Dr.
Oh my gosh, we just got a raid.
Oh, from who?
From Galactica.
Ah,
73 folks.
Her name on Twitch is Karmatika, but in our hearts she's Galactica.
Karmatica. Yeah, she's very close. She's very close to requesting Galactica on Twitch as well. So.
Well, I think she did. She's just been waiting for it to come through. I know
Could
that
be,
sometimes it
could
takes
be.
like 6 months with Twitch. Thank you so much for the raid. Everybody from uh, whichever one, we'll just call her Galactica. Everybody from Galactica stream, thank you for coming by and welcome. We are playing Star Trek Adventures. It's a system by Modifius. It's Star Trek Dungeons and Dragons, basically. And to summarize what's happened so far, the captain and the first officer, which are played by TheAstroPub and Disco Lando, who are not here today, they're caught in a lockdown at DS9 because some basically a Vulcan ship nearby has been sent out a distress call. It had some important people en route to DS9 to talk about Bajor and some stuff, and something happened too right after the distress call, like a shockwave went through, and it seems to have affected all people telepathic in the area. And so right now the Shran, with its second officer in command, and they are basically going to figure out what's going on. And what they figured out so far is that an Orion ship attacked a Vulcan ship, the Vulcan ship called I can't remember how you say it.
It wasn't the Vethic?
The Vethic.
Yeah.
The Vethic. This Vulcan ship called the Vethic. And again, it was an Orion pirate ship, and captained by, and not only the commander and Uvana know this, but so Voss doesn't and other crew members don't, but it's actually it's captained by Uvana's mother. So they're in the middle of trying to figure out what happened. So there you go. That's the rundown of what's going on.
I can't.
And this is the Shram, by the
figure out
way.
where to
It's
point.
it's a Luna class, like the Riker's Titan.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome to our welcome to the game. Sit back, enjoy, and again, thank you for the raid, and thank you all for coming over here. Please give us at least 5 minutes of your time before you run off to something else. All right. So give a follow, whatever. Again,
so everybody's back on the ship, right?
Everybody's back on the ship after y'all have investigated the Veketh. And you're all kind of sitting in the conference room. Dr. Hoffhoff's there too. He came back over so he can, because he needs to focus over here too. And he has a lot of competent people on staff. Y'all are a rescue aid ship, so you have a top-notch medical team. And so he kind of, I'm going to start with him. And he's telling you, Dr. Hoffhoff says, well, what my staff and I have figured out is that whatever this shockwave was, it was likely aboard the Orion ship. A device being used to somehow affect telepaths, but I have a suspicion it is very specialized toward Vulcans, and I'll tell you why. And he starts to explain to you, and he's not trying to like mansplain, but he's just, he's a good doc. He's like any good, he has to go over like, okay, we all know that the Orions have these pheromones, like not all of them, but many female Orions have pheromones that can affect other races and typically people who are heterosexual men, or basically anybody who's attracted to him. It's not just men, like even bisexual or gay women, might respond to the pheromones depending. But generally, like anybody that could possibly be attracted to them is affected by it. And y'all know this, the pheromone thing. And famously, the Vulcans have never been ones to be affected by it. Maybe they get headaches a little bit or something, but it doesn't like take them over like it does others. So what he can tell about how this is affecting Vulcans is this was targeted to Vulcans. And it makes sense given that Orion, like basically and he pulls up some information that he had somebody else, like he had some other people on his team pull about kind of the Orion slave markets and the fact that Vulcans are highly valued. It's just they're hard for Orions to capture. They're among the most hard for them to capture, but they are high value in their markets. And so his suspicion based on this is that this is like somebody trying to see if they can capture a Vulcan crew. But he has no idea why they just left them behind. Now he also says, well, all the equipment's gone, so maybe they were just trying to. It was odd. He just thinks it's odd that all Vulcans were accounted for, and not at least a few of them were stolen away with the equipment, is what he's saying. So there you go. That's his assessment, and then it's whoever else Jagar wants to hear from.
Uvana, do you think your mother knows you're on?
Wait. Are you saying that out in front of everybody?
Yeah. Like, oh shit, no.
Okay, that's why I stopped you. That's why I don't think I knew you didn't mean to do that. So there you go. Rephrase that, because I didn't know I didn't think you wanted to tell everybody on the crew. Oh, it's Ivana's mom.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a really strange hit for the Orions. Uvana, do you have any insight here on what they may have been looking for? Like, is there...
Uvana, go ahead and roll an insight command. Let me see your roll. I didn't have it open. Okay, so yeah, you know that, like, okay, you would know that maybe, like, it makes sense that your mother would want to steal that farming equipment because it's salvage. It's Federation technology. It's valuable no matter what it's for. But, of course it's super invaluable to the Syndicate because, I mean, they subjugate, like, farming colonies and things like that. So that makes total sense to you. As far as the Vulcan, like, targeting you already have the insight on that. But what you say in front of the crew is up to you.
Commander, I do believe that this was not just a random theft. One of the practices of Orions that I am not proud of is the fact that they subjugate others and force them to do labor, and the equipment that was aboard this vessel would assist in that. So that could be the reason.
Okay.
I also am curious, though, if there's something more because of the conference that was about to happen in Bajor. If they could be getting more involved in the politics of the region.
That's a good point. All right. Shit. So at this point, I think we need to figure out what's going on, and we want to make sure that this Orion vessel, whatever it is that they are, like, doing,
Mm-hmm.
we need to figure out what they're doing. We need to go after them. Like, we're at this point, we need to at least, like, we don't have cloaking technology, but we can follow at a quiet pace, right?
Yeah, you can. And kind of as you're talking about that specifically, you get a chime from Yolo, who is, like, filling in on the bridge for now. She would normally be in these meetings, but at the same time she doesn't need to be because she's a pilot.
Right.
She tells you over comms that the USS actually, you know what? The USS Vasquez is nearby. And it is
Uh-oh.
it's well, this isn't the Vasquez we know as. It's actually not captained by Secure at this point. It's this is actually right before. This would be a little because it's still 2369 and that game starts in 2370. So I'm just gonna say this is, like, under the cap. This is like Captain Vance. It's Captain Bob Vance Refrigeration. Captain Vance. Captain Vance is like literally, like, pulling up and basically here to assist in any way possible. And of course, it's a New Orleans class ship, which y'all all know. A New Orleans class ship is like a frigate, like a cruiser. It's a protector or it's an attacker. It's what it's a mean ship. But it's here, but that specific, in the Vasquez in that mission, that Vasquez has like a really it has a pretty good medical staff as well. So they're immediately offering their own medical staff to come assist. And all that. So she lets you know that they're here and they're basically they're starting to get boots on ground on the Vethic as well and sending their own teams so that y'all can move on in your investigation. So there you go. So that's happened. So Commander, now that you said this, you say we got to figure this out, and then now another ship is here to kind of assist. What do you do? Like what's your next? What's your next? I know it's hard to make choices.
It's hard to make choices. Okay.
Just think like you're
all
a
right.
captain. Just think about like if I was sitting there.
Think like a captain. So we've got the Vasquez, who I'm assuming is a little more ass kicky than we are.
Yeah, and they can defend point with the Vethic. That if anybody comes back, they'll be a good protector. If you want to move on, is basically what I'm trying to hint to you as a DM.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fine.
We need to go chase this ship down, and which is what I've been wanting to do anyway. So
yeah, and you're already like with everything you've done so far, you're like an hour. Like you got here like an hour ago. So yeah. They got an hour head start on you, maybe even like an hour and a half a head start on you.
But we already know Uvana can track them, so I want Uvana to get on sensors and see if we can figure out the exact direction that this ship went, and we're gonna go follow, and we will figure out what to do.
Okay.
On our way there.
Okay. So Dr. Hoff is going to recommend that all members of the ship, because they can't, whatever happened, like the shock, they can tell that's not something that was aboard the Vulcan ship. So he's basically going to say, well, I'm going to take everybody that is telepathic off ship, and we're going to put them on the Vasquez and our own shuttle. So he basically suggests that he has like basically a fleet of shuttles, like probably about half the shuttles in the bay. And he's going to take every crew member, which some of those shuttles seat like 40 people. So he doesn't need tons really, but he wants to have a couple functional ships to continue with assisting. So basically he's going to want like 4 or 5 shuttles just to get those crew members off board. So that way they're not hurt if that happens again.
Yep.
And 2, that way, like he can work with the Vasquez and stuff like that on, like he can basically make the Vasquez like his temporary, like a temporary, like, he's just going to command their medical team temporarily.
I mean, that's completely fair. We can beam people over. So I'd say between shuttles and beaming, we need to get it's like 20% of our crew
off
and
the
ship.
He organizes that pretty quickly. Like that's not hard.
That's what we do.
So that's what he does. Yeah, he gets all, and then he's going to send a lot of his, but he's going to stay on, himself is going to stay on board because in case he wants to see, like, in case it happens again. And he also makes sure that those 2 people that were left, like the officials, are also left behind on the Vasquez. So, but he has his team like really trying to figure out like how to revive these Vulcans. Cause that's that's also a problem they're running into. They can't figure out how to get them out of it.
Sure.
So he wants to go with you so he can suss out the answer to that if y'all get your hands on the device or get information about it.
Yeah.
So there. Anyway, so y'all, let's just say y'all, unless anybody's got anything else to add, y'all can just go on y'all's merry way.
I think we're good to go.
We're good,
We need to.
All right.
Let's go fuck around and find out. Come on.
So, okay. So now we're in the next scene. Y'all are back on the bridge. Uvana. Okay. Because here's the deal. Several places in the area your mother could go. The most likely and closest one, and also large enough for like, there's basically a system nearby that's like, there's some planets, all that whole thing, but there's like one particular, but the thing is a lot of the system, which is odd. This is odd for an entire system, but most of the system has like really, really intense asteroid fields. Your mother navigates them extremely well. Like it's kind of one of her key hiding places in this part of space, like in this area, because she can navigate she can navigate through it like very well, and there's like a specific path she usually takes, and those markers of that path, like which asteroids, because they have like some specific devices and it's like really low level devices on them that you'd have to know what to look for. So the path, and then that's most likely because it's a good place for her to either like make a trade, because other people, there's obviously like other members of the syndicate know this area, they know this specific like asteroid field path, and it's a good place for like them to transfer like equipment. Like if she was basically going to fence the equipment to somebody else, that would be where she would do it, nearby. But you also know that like it's kind of a choice of like, you could either take the entire, you could either take the Shran itself into this, and it might be a little bit more difficult, or you could take like one of your shuttle, which you have plenty of shuttles. Your ship has so many shuttles, it's insane. So even though he made a few go with the Vasquez, it's like a decent amount of shuttles. Like you're fine. You've got plenty of shuttles. So anyway, so basically you route it down and you say, you don't say it, but of one place that you're very, like your instinct tells you your instinct says that's where she would go. But there's like two other places within, like this place is only like a couple hours away, whereas the other two are like within 12 to 24 hours away. So they're a little further out. And that like, by like just your instinct is telling you it's this one. It's we'll call the system like the Frosnir system. It's the Frosnir system. There you go. Frosnir. I don't know where that came from, but that's the one name.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Frosnir system.
So internally, in my head, I'm battling with the need to share this information and try to show confidence to the crew of where we should go and why. And at the same time, I'm running into the lack of a good reason why I would know what I know. So essentially, I address the entire bridge crew at this point, and I say, "Attention, everyone! I need to come out." And I say, I am a former Orion Syndicate, and my mother is aboard this vessel, and I know, based on what she taught me very well, how to navigate through this treacherous asteroid field. And I'm tired of hiding all this. I have a past that is very difficult to share with all of you because I hold you all in such high regard and I don't want you to see me differently. But in order to find my mother and hopefully not have her continue causing harm, I think it's time you all knew that I know how to find her, and I know where she is.
Yolo chimes in after all that, and she just says, "Use what your mama gave you, but don't be your mama." No.
What YOLO said.
You fine. We go beat your mama up, but not too bad, because she's still your mama. And so
I appreciate that, YOLO.
the crew on the bridge, which some of them are like kind of obviously like because the captain and Shiv are gone, so there's people in Shiv's spot and all that. You don't see them as often, but they know y'all. They're around. So, but nobody seems to be like, "Oh no, how dare you!" Like everybody just seems to appreciate that you are going through this. I think I think they all just kind of nod. The rest of them just kind of nod and just sort of in some way or another give you a thumbs up. You know what I mean? They don't seem to be bothered by it, but it does seem to open up everybody's mind a little bit to like, oh, like it seems like some of them realize like, oh, we have an ace up our sleeve in this endeavor. So some of them actually seem to be happy to hear it because you have some good insight. So, but yeah, the bridge doesn't seem to be bothered by it.
Well, and if
Okay.
they do have a problem with it, they have to deal with me.
And the
So
captain and Shiv, because I'm sure they wouldn't be happy about it either if somebody was being shitty.
I mean, is this a secret that she kept from everyone in Starfleet, or just the crew? But people in charge actually know, because this sort of thing like would have prevented a posting on a ship like this, like on any ship in Starfleet, if it was kept a
I think
secret.
it depends, though. Ivana, obviously that's up to you, but I think it kind of depends on the situation. I think the fleet's confidence in you has something to mean something. Clearly, no matter what the fleet does or does not know, they have confidence enough in her that even if they did know, they're not concerned about it.
Yeah.
But Ivana, that's up to you if that's like that's more of an official disclosure, like if you've officially disclosed that to your higher ups in the past or the academy, or if this is like something you've actually just kept under your sleeve for a long time.
Well, I don't think this is backstory, right? Like we're not getting
Yeah.
into a deep discussion about this right now on the bridge. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just
So
they're asking out of character.
essentially,
Yeah.
yeah, out of character here. My father is Starfleet and
Yeah.
has a lot of influence in Starfleet and a spotless record, and that's why I joined Starfleet. And I eventually came to realize what my mother was, and
He was probably happy to like
I
have you see
I
that. Yeah.
decided to follow my father's path instead. Uh, there, so there's a definite story between my mother and father that of how I was born, and but that's all for another time.
Yeah. So the fleet
Yeah,
the fleet probably officially but unofficially knows, you know what I mean?
right.
Like
Yeah.
people close to him are aware of like, and
Mhm.
obviously when you have like, he has an Orion, like a half Orion daughter, there might be some questions at some point in his life about
Mhm.
it, but so we'll say that like the fleet like officially and unofficially knows this and they don't have a problem with it. So whatever. So yeah, they're fine. They have confidence in her. So yeah, y'all go on and so I assume that this is what you're doing now is you're going to where she asked Shakar.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we'll say,
And
oh, go
I
ahead.
essentially set up a plot of where we can fly, but we
Yeah.
need to determine, I would say, if the ship can fit or if it's gonna have to be a shuttlecraft.
And
It
YOLO's got this. YOLO's got
Yeah,
this.
YOLO, YOLO YOLO's proved herself time and time again that she is literally the most responsive person that you've ever met. Like she is so quick to respond on the helm. And that's part of her race's like sort I guess would be like a racial trait in D&D is I've told you all this before, they have a very high response rate compared to everybody else. And that they just their brains just their whole everything moves faster in their mind. Like it's like I told y'all before, like it's almost like the Flash. Like you know how like when he's running, it's like everybody else is moving really slow and he's going he's going at a normal speed in his mind. That's kind of the way it is with her a little bit. That's kind of how she perceives. Like y'all talk real slow to her. Yeah, she has like Jedi reflexes, like Chat saying.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, she's just so
Don't mix the midichlorians in this.
you are confident in her ability to use the path you've given her to pull the whole strand through. Because again, y'all could go in with a shuttle and have a lot less risk. But I think y'all all feel very confident in her ability. She's one of the best she's one of the best pilots in the fleet. You know that for sure. I know that's like a stereotype, but that's really true of her.
And the closer we get, is it like the more confident we'd also be that the Orion ship is actually where we are going?
Yeah. Okay.
Not
So
one of the other locations that could possibly be hiding?
So again, this place is like on like if you even if you were to go to the others, like this one would be the first one to come up. It's the closest. So it takes y'all like an hour or two or whatever to get there. And as you're kind of getting to the system, you see what she's talking about. Like it's asteroid central. You've never seen an entire system that's filled out with asteroids. It's insane. And the thing that's unique about the asteroids is like there's certain like metals and precious, like all kinds of materials in them that actually makes it hard to and this is something she would which I forgot to include Ivana, but this is something Ivana would have told you. Like basically you have to get in a certain amount before you can tell if a ship's there or not, because it's specific. They like this area. It's dangerous to drive in and or to fly in and out of, but it's very hard to detect ships within it. So again,
this is in the hunt for October, basically.
Yeah, these asteroids are just full of different things that are making like sensors a little off. But you can scan. It's just not as like long range as you normally can. Like you can get into like little bursts. It's like scanning like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. Does that make sense? Instead of like the whole puzzle, like you're only getting a couple pieces at a time as you pass through them. So anyway, as you get there, Ivana like gives like YOLO sort of like these like there's like some kind of like little tiny signal outputters, because obviously they're asteroids, so they kind of drift around. So it kind of changes, like the path sort of changes, and the current path like is always being marked by like little like almost like they're like they ping sound. It's like, like almost like a buoys, but they're like very hard to find buoys. You have to know what you're looking for. And she knows exactly what she's looking for. So she knows exactly where the buoys are that guide you in. So that's not an issue. What the issue is will YOLO be able to navigate through it despite all of her, it's still a thing full of asteroids, and the deflectors do some work too. In fact, actually, YOLO tells you like she has to disactivate the deflector dish, because if it's such a dense asteroid field that like deflecting can actually cause more problems than it solves at this moment. So she has to like reduce its power to get through this.
Well, I don't know. The deflector dish only acts at warp, not at impulse.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Duh. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to roll for YOLO and see how she starts to go through all this. In fact, you know what? I'll have Ivana roll. Like okay, Ivana, I would like you to roll con and probably insight, and then YOLO will roll that too. And it's not necessarily that you're the one flying. You're sort of the one you're helping her navigate, whereas she's executing, right?
Right. So communication test, basically. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. What'd you get? Oh, you did good.
Damn it.
Add 1 to the. It was the difficulty of 1, so go ahead and add to the whatchamacallit.
The momentum.
Yes, the momentum.
A new scene means all power to the ship, right? We're full power.
Why would we be at full power?
Because you said it's a new scene.
No, that depends. Like it's new scenes. Oh, are you talking about the momentum bar?
No, just ship power.
No, ship power. This is all like one episode, so unless you did something to add power, you should still be down in power.
Oh, okay. So it's just momentum that resets everything.
Yeah, it's momentum that resets between scenes. Sometimes I'll let y'all carry it over because one scene's like directly going into another, but if it's like a totally different scene, it makes a difference.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna roll for YOLO real quick. Ooh. Yeah, she knocked into one. It wasn't a bad knock at all. It's not a bad knock at all, but it was like she's off to a shaky start.
Shields can take it. It's just us.
Can we all do the little? Can we all do this really quick?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for that.
It's like like ouch. And she goes, sorry. And then she
we don't have rocks falling from overhead compartments.
Yeah. Well, at least we don't have rocks falling out of the ship.
Yet.
Yeah. And so she realizes like, okay, I gotta take this like I gotta do better at this. So she sort of like wiggles and cracks her fingers, and then she like, because like normally like she sort of like stands or sits on her chair. Her chair's like it's so big that she doesn't really fit in it. So she kind of sits on the side of the console and uses her tail and her foot maybe and sometimes she just stands directly on the console and operates it with her feet and her tail, but now she's like all fours and her tail are on it. Like she's like oh no, I got to take this serious. So she's gearing up. So she's getting ready again. I'm going to roll for her again, and if you'll navigate her again, Uvana. She succeeded. She's ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay,
Streak has ended.
so you kind of you think a buoy is a little off from where it actually is. And you start to realize that. You start to realize that you're like, "Oh no, that's happening." And you let her know that you know you're off by like a certain amount. You're recalibrating, you're trying to figure out where it is, and she just kind of wings it and she gets it through. Like, it's not maybe the exact path. It's maybe throwing y'all off the path a little bit, but she's at least keeping it clean. So here we go. So go ahead and re-roll for me, Ivana. Or just roll again, I mean. Okay, you did fine. You got us back on track. And she seems to be in sync with you. And y'all are making it through. So I'd say by now add like at least 2 more to the momentum pool so far. And yeah, y'all are making it through. So one more. Let's do this one more time, Ivana. Like 3/4 of the way there. Sweet, y'all. Okay, you now know you're within range of basically where they park. Enough to scan and figure out where they like what's going on.
All right, let's fire up those scanners.
Yeah. Whoever wants to fire up scanners between Ivana or
Well, since she's busy helping
yeah, why don't you?
YOLO,
Yeah.
I'll do those. Yeah. So
Yeah. She was at the navigation console for a few minutes. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. What I got? Science insight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Science insight. Doop. Okay. And ship is sensors and science. For one.
You feel like you're not. Oh yeah, let's do the ship real quick. Yeah, run the ship. Okay, you're good. You made it. So you are detecting the Orion ship from before. It is giving off like similar signatures, so you know it's the Storm Spike. But you are also like you're detecting other crafts too, but they're much smaller. They're like you don't really think they're probably a threat. They seem like merchant vessels of some kind, and they don't really have like compared to y'all, they have like, you know, dollar store weapons.
You got lasers.
Yeah, y'all got y'alls at like you know, like y'all got y'alls at like Micro Center, and they got theirs at like Dollar General.
Micro Center.
Yeah, so it's like if they test you, they will not like how it ends for them. But the Storm Spike's a pretty formidable ship. It's not exactly like, you know, I mean, Starfleet ships are pretty freaking, they're powerhouses, right? The Storm Spike's like a scrappy, like, bootlegger. It gets by, but it doesn't mean it's not dangerous. Like, it's got a mean torpedo bank and, you know, some mean weapons on it too. It's just, it just doesn't have the same power capacity and power levels. So it's like, if it got down in the fight, you know, it would turn tail and get out instead of trying to fight through it. So anyway, y'all get there. When you arrive and you pick it up on sensors, you feel like Ivana, as you get back to your console, as you kind of go back to where you were, you see that like the telltale signs of like your mother's detected y'all and is scanning back. Like she's scanning too.
Commander, they're aware of our presence.
And by the way, are we still at yellow? Like what are we at? Like Commander Jakar. Well, I guess this is a good time for you to decide that. Wait, why isn't Jin? Jin, you're muted. I'm not hearing you.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Sorry. I was eating popcorn.
I was like, no.
I was
Saw your
like, this
mouth
is really
moving.
interesting. So okay.
Okay.
They know we're there. I think that we're probably still on yellow alert. I don't think we're on red alert yet. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah, no hostile actions have happened yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but we're definitely wary because we know that this ship was in an area where there was an attack. We can be kind and, think that maybe they weren't at fault, but we're pretty sure they were because of, all the telltale
Yeah.
signs. But I think my first question I still want to know, Uvana, do you think your mother knows you're on our ship? Do you think she's got that intel? Do you think she knows that we were going to be the responding ship?
I do not believe she would know. Let's perhaps keep that as keep that in our back pocket for a little bit if you
Okay.
want to contact her first, and then yes.
If we a suggestion, if we do engage establish video contact, we could narrow the field so we don't
Yeah.
cover the entire bridge, and
Right.
Uvana can stand to the side.
You mean she's not just gonna duck underneath her console? Like,
I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah, Ivana, you would think, let me put it to you this way. You aren't sure what your mother knows about your life right now, like how much she knows.
Right. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
you probably know that down in your heart, if she knew you were aboard, it would complicate things for her. If that makes sense. But
Right.
you don't know. Like, you don't know what she knows. So, but you have your, she's your mother. You have like your instincts about her. So anyway, so that you see that they're scanning, and it's like the ship,
I would
like,
say
oh, go ahead.
I would just prompt Commander Jagar to initiate the discussion without me, and then
And see
I,
what happens. Like, you can pull in if you need
yeah.
to.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
You can be like a card to play later. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I do think we need to hail that ship though, because
Okay.
at this point, like,
Yeah, it's
time.
noticed you, it's scanned you, and it's not like taking an offensive or defense, but it is taking a slightly defensive posture. But it's not like, oh my god, like battle stations now. It seems like it's like it's like the equivalent of, instead of somebody like turning full face to you and having a hammer in their hand, it's more like they're kind of noticing you out of the corner of their eye, and they're putting their hand on like the blade in the sheath kind of feel, like vibe.
And we know that they scanned us, right?
Yeah, you can tell.
So they probably know that we had. Do we think they at least know that we have an Orion on board?
Maybe.
Would they be that
Maybe
sophisticated?
there's
do you
plenty of
think?
Orions that serve in Starfleet. So even if they did know that there's probably a few others that are aboard this ship.
All right,
Like, that's not going to influence them on how they treat you.
cool.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah, there's like Tendi Tuvana. I heard about her. She's aboard a small ship called the Cerritos.
Well, actually, she's not on the Cerritos yet. She's like still in the academy, probably.
Fuck yeah.
If she's even in the academy yet. That show is like in 2380 something. Like, that's 10 years from now at least. Anyway, so they, they kind of take a defensive posture, and I guess you hail them.
Yep, we're hailing them.
When the screen comes, on, you see, an emerald skinned woman, an Orion woman. She's very beautiful, like most Orions in general. Like, not just women, but men, and like Orion people are generally considered beautiful to most others.
I'm no exception.
Yeah, she's very gorgeous. She's very, for like, she has like this, like, you can see the pirate in her, but there's like a regality to her. Like, she seems very proud. And she just has like an air of like importance to her, like she's important. And she also, but like, it's not, but she doesn't seem egotistical. She doesn't seem cocky. She just seems like
Okay.
she knows who she is, and
Yep.
she is aware that she is a bad bitch. You know what I mean?
Yep. I'm
Okay.
a motherfucking woman, baby. All right. I got it. All right.
Yeah. So
Is,
she receives your hail. She's standing.
Is
just-
it obvious to me now? Like I mean, I knew her, but would have.
Oh,
Would
do
have
you
been
see the
just
family
visuals?
resemblance? Do you see the
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely like she is. I would say like, the features that Uvana takes from her mother are definitely. I mean, obviously the greenish hue to her skin, but she's not quite as like she's got a lighter skin tone than her mother. She definitely has like her mother's like cheekbones and eyes and like jawline. You can see like the kind of like the almost like the facial structures there, but like there's other features that you could probably tell come from her dad, even though like
I like the triangles from the mom. Yeah.
yeah, she has like like her cute little nose and some other features are probably more from her dad's side, but yeah, like her cheeks and like just the general structure around the eyes and stuff, definitely her mother. You see it like it's striking how similar their eyes and stuff are. So yeah, she just receives your hail. What do you say?
Who, me?
Yeah, you're the one who hailed. You're the one who hailed her. She's not gonna talk first.
True. Do we know so have we
Ugata.
established that we know the name of this ship?
Yes, y'all do. It's this.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
it's some you at least know, and that's important. So the Storm Spike.
Am I speaking to? So first of all, am I speaking to the captain of the Storm Spike?
Is that what you say to her? Are you saying?
Yeah.
That? Okay. Yes. She just nods. She doesn't say anything. She just gives you a single nod.
Do you know anything about a Vulcan ship that was recently telepathically messed with?
She just shrugs.
Ooh, can I do like a
Smirks
surreptitious
little bit.
scan for any sort of equipment that could potentially
Oh.
be psionic in nature?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to do that on the side while she's talking to her?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Well, maybe distracted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Although
yeah,
probably
yeah.
not gonna work.
Well, I mean, you're already scanned, so it's not like they're gonna be able to tell exactly what you're scanning for.
True. All right.
Sure.
Okay.
Unless they're super advanced people, so it's fine. You're not gonna set off any alarm bells.
Sure. Inside science.
Yeah. Inside science, difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2. Damn it. Fine. All right.
Yeah,
I'll
go
have the
for it.
ship help me. Oh,
There
that
you go.
doesn't matter. But
But you can still get momentum.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So yeah, you can see that there's something. Yes, there is something aboard that ship that. Yes, whatever caused that whole thing is aboard that ship. Absolutely.
I swipe that information to Commander's
chair
little
drop. You mean chair drop?
chair drop. Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, so at this point, she just kind of shrugged at you. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of looked like, I don't know, like Jeff Goldblummy style.
We have a number of incapacitated crew members, and we are hoping you might be able to provide some insight in how to help them.
She finally speaks this time, and she says, I didn't detect any, or our scanners didn't detect any incapacitated crew members aboard your ship, aside from, a scraped knee of a child.
A child.
Yeah, like there was some kid running down a hall that scraped her knee.
We don't have any fucking kids. Do we have kids on this ship? What?
Probably a couple.
Nobody told me that. Well,
Yeah, you're the captain now.
I would have left them over on that Vulcan ship too. What am I? What kind
this
of terrible
in character?
captain am I? Acting captain am I?
Wait, is this in? Are you talking this in character? Because that would be so much fun here.
No.
I mean,
Anyway. No, instead of saying that, honestly, you probably wouldn't have too many kids aboard the ship in the first place, because you are a rescue aid ship, so you go into really dangerous shit. But she just basically says, like, there's nobody, I don't detect anybody incapacitated on your ship aside from some yeoman who scraped her knee.
Well, I'm in the interest of honesty here. we left a few of our crewmen behind because we had to come after you, and we noticed that we were missing some supplies as well from a ship that was supposed to rendezvous with us. So
how
can you answer to that?
terrible. That's
Can
so awful. I am so sorry to hear that you're going through that.
I'm,
But what's it got to do with me?
Well, we ran some scans.
Oh,
We
yeah?
ran some scans, and we are noticing that you may have may have some of the things that we're looking for, and you may not
You would
notice.
accuse me of stealing from a Vulcan ship.
If the shoe fits.
Is it you're just accusing me because I'm an Orion. Like, she's getting like, but the thing is,
Oh,
you didn't
no.
wait, you didn't tell her it was a Vulcan ship, by the way.
Oh.
Also,
She said that, though.
did you tell her that things went missing?
Well, she just
We
did.
just-
She
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
No, we
just
did
said
say
that.
that things went missing.
But Ugata just told you that basically, oh, you're accusing me of robbing a Vulcan ship. You said nothing about it being a Vulcan ship.
Oh.
Okay.
So
I
it's
gave,
interesting.
I gave you one.
So it's interesting that you know that it was a Vulcan ship that was attacked.
Yeah, she starts to realize her mistake, and you can kind of see it in her face. She's like, God damn it. Like, she's keeping her poker face up, but you can just see that little, like, in her eyes, like, son of a bitch.
Now, we are a search and rescue ship. Our goal here, and our goal with that Vulcan ship, was just to render some aid. I am not here to make trouble for you, but if you do not hand over our supplies, we may have some trouble.
I recommend that you leave here, because it is not you are not gonna get out here very easily if you stay for very much longer. And then she ends hail.
Oh.
And she starts to power up weapons. She's basically telling you to fuck off.
Okay.
And also, with that said, you are inside of, like, an asteroid field that is very hard to get around, and she's an expert at it. Your pilot is pretty good at it.
Our pilot's pretty good at it,
and
but
she's
we
already
also
coming in
have
once, so she can
Uvana.
get back. Yes, and this again.
Uvana?
So yeah, she's into hell. She's powering up.
Is this the moment where we send a can we just send a random message over, like, open frequencies to say that
I would suggest just broadcasting my name.
Yeah.
Okay.
That we have her daughter. We don't even have to tell her why or how we have her daughter.
While you're having this discussion, they shoot off a warning shot just off to the side of your. They don't actually attack you. They're just shooting off to the side of your hull as a warning shot.
Okay. Then can we send a can we send an open broadcast on all frequencies that we have her daughter?
Yeah, you can. You can.
Aboard. All right.
Commander.
Yes.
I have an idea.
Okay. I'm open.
Do not show me yet. Describe that you have me in your possession.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I'm going to go change clothes.
Oh, okay.
And then I will be in the brig when you are ready for me.
Okay.
Okay, so she's shooting off warning shots. She's not attacking, but her ship keeps, like, kind of trying to scoot you away, if that makes sense. Like,
so we want to make sure that shields are like, we know we've got shields up.
Are you still
so
at yellow alert
there.
or are you at red alert, by the way?
No, now we're going to red alert.
Okay.
And we are it's in chat. This is not the Federation, I know. Yeah, well, Klingon Jich. So we're going to go to red alert.
Uh-huh.
Ivana's going off, and
yeah, she's doing her thing.
and doing her thing. We're sending an open broadcast hail to anybody in listening saying that we have Uvana Nikes on our ship, and that's all we're saying.
Okay, after that broadcast for like maybe a couple minutes, like once it started broadcasting, like a few seconds after it started, they seemed to like kind of taper, like they stopped firing, they stopped trying to scoot you out, and now that like it's been like a minute or two, they've just come to a full stop, and now she's hailing you again.
Oh, now you want to talk. Okay. All right. Bring her up. Yes, Ugata.
So you have somebody aboard.
Okay.
Uvana Nikis.
Mm-hmm.
What is her status?
Well, she's down in our brig right now.
She looks concerned now. But she's trying not to play like she's poker facing, but you're enough of a poker player that you see it, right? You see the tension in her knuckles as she kind of grips her chair a little bit. And she says, and then she asks, "What are the charges?"
What are the charges?
Why is she in your brig?
You need to ask that question? Did you not send her to spy on the Federation?
Now she is like, oh no. And then she immediately is saying, "My daughter is no pirate." And she says it like, fuck her. She's not a pirate like us. Like, she's not saying it like, "Oh no, my baby's not a pirate." She's like, "No, she is not a pirate."
Well, the fact that she's in my brig would probably say otherwise.
And she just stares at you for a second. She's like, "Bitch." And then she kind of says, "I need proof of this before I believe it."
Okay. And then so I'm not going to like walk through my ship. I'm assuming that we can like bring somebody to have her bring her up. Can I just have security bring her to the bridge?
Well,
Or would we want to just do we have
broadcast like an
cameras? We
image
have
from the bridge.
broadcast cameras.
Yeah, you have that stuff in the brig. I mean,
sure.
Yeah. And you can tell it's the brig when she's in it, you know.
Yeah.
So, do you want to like ask Ivana about like you want to check in on her?
Yeah, so we're muting our
Yeah, of course.
muting,
I figured you would.
Muting our hail here and just saying, Uvana, are you ready for the performance of a lifetime? Because your mother wants to see proof of life.
And I tell Commander Chikara that, listen, I don't think she's going to give up this device for anything, but I may be able to get aboard that ship.
Really? So if we get you on board that ship, maybe as a transfer for the goods that they stole, do you think that's a possibility? And you can maybe work some
Starfleet magic.
Starfleet magic.
Yes, and I want to, and I quickly just speak to. Actually, I took this off, but I speak to Nolan Voss and just ask, what do you think I need to disable on that ship in order for you to get me back aboard quickly?
Shields. Shield array.
Right. But beyond that, is there a way I can, if I can't get to that panel, is there something else I can do in engineering or, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Yeah.
Give her a
Because I'm not gonna like just have access all of a sudden to the main controls.
Can you like keep your? But I mean, like, can you keep your comm badge in your pocket?
That's what I was thinking, like slipping in my boot or something.
Yeah.
But we still need to get those shields down
Right.
to get
That
back.
would help us track her, but not actually get a teleporter signal through.
And if you're trying to remember,
if
you're trying to
if
steal
you
all this
can,
shit back in a get go, you got to make sure there's space aboard the ship. So you're gonna have to get cargo to get it together.
if you can't get the shields down, just getting the shield harmonic frequency communicated to us would help, because then we could just teleport everything as if the shields were not there at all.
You know those shield frequencies.
Oh, there you go. That's right.
You know them. You serve aboard that ship.
I
Well, a
mean,
similar ship, not the same.
Oh yeah.
But isn't that something the captain can change as well?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So she may. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. So you don't know. But
it's
you know
also,
how to
at
get
least
them
in
quick.
Starfleet, it's standard protocol to rotate those frequencies every once in a while, just as a safety precaution.
Yeah.
YOLO is off to the side, and she kind of looks at all of y'all, and she says,
Maybe it would be in our best interest to disable their engines for a while, because it might take us a minute to get all that cargo back if we disable them. It's not like we're going to get it all in one go.
Yeah.
That's a
How-
lot of
how-
power for us to use
Mm.
to beam all that over, and space. In fact, you know what? I'm going to start getting the people to go get the space cleared out, and I'll give you some time. I'll tell you what spaces to use.
Mhm.
Thank goodness YOLO over there
I
is knows
She's
what's up.
She's keeping your noses clean.
Yeah, she actually assigns somebody. She like talks to somebody, and they start to kind of like, oh shit, we need to get cargo put together, or we need to
Okay,
clear some areas
so
out.
so if we can knock out engines, that's gonna at least keep the ship from going anywhere.
Yeah,
If we do
And-
main power, the shields will go
and
down as
also
well.
your scans like tell you that it's like it's not as big of a ship as that Vulcan ship or yours, right?
Right.
Like logic dictates that the size and the amount of some of the equipment they took is like got them packed to the gills. Like you can just tell from scans that their cargo bay is literally just stuffed. And they were probably when y'all got there, they were probably in the process of like using those merchant vessels to get rid of some of it, but also to like rearrange it. Like they were in the middle of like a cargo exchange, or they were about to start one. So you can tell that like they are not in the best position to defend themselves, because they have sensitive equipment too on board that if it's rocked if it's rocked a little too much, it will cause issues for them.
Right.
And they have a crew complement of maybe 40 or 50.
Oh, they're tiny.
Yeah, but it's a huge ship, but with
Yeah.
a small crew, because it's like they steal
crew.
stuff.
Right.
You know, they need more space to steal stuff than they need for people.
Right.
So yeah,
All right.
it's not a huge crew.
So what? So Uvana's goal is going to be to shut it down. We're going to see if we can't do an
Mhm.
exchange for our the goods.
You could
So
negotiate, or or if that went bad, you could find a way to sort of make her do spy work. Essentially,
Right.
it's kind of what I'm getting from y'all, right? That's what you're kind of
Yeah.
talking about, Uvana.
Mhm.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
if you can't work it
Basically,
out, trick her into getting you on board.
because I think she would negotiate an exchange of me for the goods, but not that device. She's
Not the
going to want to hold
device.
on to that. And
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
goal is to try and get over there and get that device away from her.
Okay, I see. All right, so what do y'all do now? So y'all are about to show her Uvana, right, in the brig?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So we're gonna
So-
show her Uvana.
Okay, so y'all broadcast Uvana now.
Yep.
And I mean, it's like a three-way call, right? So you're there, like, you know, the bridge is on, Ugata's bridge is on, and Uvana is, brig is on. So,
Hello, mother.
daughter. She looks very like you know her well enough to know her face, and you can see that she is both concerned for you, but she's also suspicious. Like she doesn't trust what she's being told. She's not letting her motherly she's like she's not letting the motherly side of her like freak out, right? She's keeping her cool. She's not worrying about her
I
baby.
just say it's been a long time.
Getting from there to here. No,
I'm up.
she nods. Sorry, I'm sorry. She just nods and she tells you it has been a long time. You look well.
I've been better.
Are you sure about that? And that's when you see that suspicious side of her sneaking in at you. Like she doesn't know she believes like you are in the brig.
Listen, Mother, I made a go of seeing what life could be like in the Federation, and the bastards turned on me.
Okay, roll me a presence command for that. I want to see how much you convince her of that. Oh, okay. She takes you for your word. So you can tell she believes you now. Like you did very well at convincing your mother. Because you needed a 3 and you got a 3. So
I would appreciate you getting me off this ship as soon as possible. I cannot stand being here any longer.
she kind of turns her head a little bit, like looking more at where Jagar is on her screen. What are your terms?
We want all of the supplies that you stole from the Vulcan ship.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
anything
it.
else?
I want every single bit of farming equipment down to the last grain of dirt that you took. Every single bit of it.
She just sighs. She's not happy about losing the equipment, but she'll do it. So she just fine. And then she starts to tell her crew, and her crew is not happy because this is like their money that's getting lost here. So you can tell there's some discontent. They're not necessarily voicing it while you're on hail with her, but you can see the looks going around the bridge at each other that they're not happy at all. So she says, so she's ordering them around, and then she just says, you'll have it by she's like, you'll have all of it within the hour. We got it out. And then she and she's not, you could tell like she's going to hold to her word because she is actually immediately giving all this back before actually securing her daughter. Because she knows, and the thing is she knows enough to know that Starfleet holds to their word. They're not going to trick her. Hint, hint. They're not going to trick her out of her child. And so she starts to, so y'all start to, slowly but surely, y'all start to like get all this stuff, right? It takes like it actually takes a shuttle or two to do it. And it takes like some beaming of some equipment that kind of, because it's too big for shuttles, but within the hour she's held to her word and y'all get all of that equipment back. Again, now y'all are kind of packed to the gills in the cargo bay as well as in the shuttle bay, because some of the stuff you had to put in the shuttle bay because you didn't have enough cargo space for some of it because it was so big. So yeah, between your cargo bays and your shuttle bay, like you're packed up. And it's actually, you're very thankful that some of the shuttles are missing right now from you because it's making it, it's making it doable. So you get all your equipment back in an hour, and then on the dot within an hour, she texts you back. She hails you back, and all she says is, "Send my daughter over," and she lowers her shields.
Oh man!
And then you can tell
we're sending Uvana over, but man, my inner Klingon really wants to just like freaking
break her. Yeah.
Can we run a scan can we run a scan while the shields are dropped to see if we can find where the device is on the ship?
Yeah. You can let's see how sneaky you are though. And what were you saying, Uvana?
I was just gonna reassure the commander that I believe I know how I can get back aboard. and
Okay.
to not
Like, you got
to not be
this.
concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So let's say that Nolan, will you roll it for me? Will you roll a scan for me?
Sure.
But actually, I want you to roll it like first. I want you to roll the scan, and then I want you to roll again because I'm making you roll first to see how incognito you can do it.
Sure.
That's your first task.
Do I roll anything different for that, or just 2 scans?
Let's call that a control. Actually, a daring, science. A daring science. Do a
Daring science.
Yeah. Because I think daring fits being sneaky the most.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh, you
Okay.
did fine. Okay, so
Nice.
now roll for the scan. Science plus
Insight.
reason. Yeah. Science and reason. Oh no, you know what you're looking for though. Yeah, with the go ahead and roll the ship too.
Since I know what I'm looking for, then it would be reason, yeah.
Yeah. But go
But
ahead
I
and roll the ship too.
Yeah, roll the ship, yeah. Just the same thing. Oh, damn it.
You did really well. Basically
You can use momentum as well.
you were able to conceal the scan.
This is true.
Oh yeah, do you want to use some momentum? Go for it.
Yeah.
Buy a couple die. I think
yeah,
I think I've got like a full bar at this point.
Yeah, I'll do a couple of die, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 3 momentum for 2 dice. Another
Okay,
success.
you made it. You got it. So basically you were able to conceal, like you were able to kind of like low power that scan but still get a lot of yield out of it because you're close enough to them that you don't need a lot of power. It's a short scan. It's like a burst. And yeah, you can see that device is like essentially like it's not integrated into the system, so it would be fairly easy to remove. It's like a standalone device, and it seems to be located like somewhere in engineering, which she has to go to anyway if she's gonna do what she's gonna do.
Yeah, and also, does it seem like it's standard Orion tech that comprises the rest of the ship, or is it something like that's been appropriated from another race?
It's too hard to tell on like when you're trying to conceal that. You're just trying to locate it. So you can tell where it is, but knowing like but because it's almost like it's like a short burst. Like you just pulse the scan instead of like holding the blender button down, you pulse the blender, so to speak. So you just tapped it kind of thing. So you can't get very much information. You just know where it is. So you knew a more detailed scan would actually like maybe cause some issues. But you have a pinpoint on where it is. So yeah, you can't really tell that unless you were to get it and you were to examine it.
Right.
Or have a scan for longer, but you're not going to take that risk right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so where were we?
I guess I tell Ivana where the device is, but can't
you
tell
like
her
chair
what to
drop
look for.
it. Yeah, you chair. They're in the middle of a conversation, so you just send that information.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So so where were we? Like y'all were talking about a prisoner or not prisoner.
Basically, just about to transport over.
So. Yeah. Yep. And
so at this point, we're getting ready to transport her. So I'm gonna say now I've got my chair drop as we've been having this conversation. We're like walking her, like I'm walking her to the transport bay.
Yeah. And you get like it comes up on your pad. Yeah.
And it comes up, and I just say, that'll be the last time you mess with engineering, Starfleet engineering, and walk out I turn around and I walk out the door.
Okay. So, Ivana.
Right. I get you.
Yeah. Ivana.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So, Ivana is like on the transport pad and gets beamed over to the transport pad of the other ship. Your mother is there waiting for you. And when you get there, she's like kind of got her arms folded and she's looking at you. And she just, and you can tell like before, when y'all were on the hail before you beamed over, like y'all could see that hour after that, like the crew finding out their loot's going away, like that second hail, they were like, so like an hour later, you could you could sense the tension. You didn't need to be you didn't need to be Deanna Troy to sense the tension on that ship. You know what I
So
mean?
I look her dead in the eye and I say, Mother, our our reunion's gonna have to wait. I want to get back at that ship, and I have a way to do it.
She is still like surprised at you a little bit that you're apparently like done with Starfleet. And so she actually kind of, and there's nobody around. Like she made sure of that you'd have some privacy. And she stops you and she
Okay.
says, "Is that really true though? Is that really true?"
I know that when I left the syndicate, it probably hurt you, but I had to know what life was like on the other side for my father,
She's,
and
yeah.
I was not as welcome there and could not find a place there like I could when I was living much more happily and much more freely aboard the whatever the name of my previous ship was.
We'll call it
So,
we'll come up with a name. We'll say it's like you know, because I've been watching a lot of GOT lately. Dark Sister. It
there
was
you
the
go.
Dark
Okay.
Sister.
I like
It's a
that.
great name. I'm sorry, it's a great name for a
Mhm.
sword. It's a great name for a ship.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's she just. I'm actually gonna roll something for her. I want you to oppose
Okay.
it. I want both of us to roll. I'm just gonna roll it off of like YOLO's sheet because I don't have a sheet for your mother, but I'm gonna put her command at 5 and her presence at like 12 because she would have high presence. So it's 9 and 2 for YOLO. I gotta remember that. So I'm gonna roll this, and you're gonna roll against me with the same thing. Presence command, two die. Mama got 2. Oh, y'all are head. Okay, so she's still not convinced. Y'all are like basically toe to toe right now. She,
Uh,
again, she's
oh,
got you in a like she's cleared her crew out of this area, and she just kind of sighs, and she just looks at you, and she says, "I understand why you left the syndicate. I left the syndicate." And that surprises
and
you.
I
She has been a
yeah,
loyal
okay.
member of the syndicate for a very long time. And like hearing her say she left the syndicate is like hearing that, you know, Michael Jordan wants to go play baseball now, which that happened. But
What could possibly have happened to have caused you in particular to leave the syndicate? I never would have thought you would follow in my footsteps.
she's continually like looking around her to make sure that like nobody walks in on the two of you. But
Mm.
and she starts to just like immediately open up to you, and she says, Ivana, they're getting into some dark stuff. I mean, you know me, I was never a big fan of this whole slave trade thing. I that's why I've kept a salvage. I'll steal salvage all day. But I own the only reason I took slaves and put slaves on people was to keep the syndicate off of me because I knew if I didn't do it, they would suspect something.
We got
This
another raid.
Oh, goodness. Who was it from this time?
Yeah.
Thank you for the
The
raid.
Society live stream.
Oh, thank you, Society. Thank you for the welcome, y'all. We're playing Star Trek Adventures. We're kind of, I think we're nearing toward the end in the next 30 minutes of our thing, but we've had a pretty interesting episode. Basically, Orion pirates and stealing stuff from Starfleet. You know, it's been fun. Thank you for
As you
joining
do.
us.
As you do.
I hope. Oh, from Vason RPG. Nice. I'll have to look that up. I'm gonna give y'all a follow later. Thank you though. Thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate y'all, Society, and welcome again. Oh, cool. The UK, nice. Well, I'm gonna jump back in, but thank y'all so much for that raid. I really do appreciate y'all, and please just give us like 5 minutes of your time if you like what you see. Cool, stay by. If you don't, no big deal. Or if you want to get caught up on this episode later because you kind of got here later, we have our episodes go up on YouTube, which if somebody in the chat, if y'all will post the link to TSMR. It does pop by once in a while. So anyway. But
There
anyway,
we go.
so thank you. Oh yeah, I had a TSMR command. Yeah, so go watch the episodes there. So okay. So she's admitting to you that the Orion Syndicate, it's just they're getting into some darker things that she is not a fan of. And she essentially is telling you that she's still operating, like she's no longer part of the syndicate, but she's playing nice right now with the syndicate. Like she's saying she left the syndicate, but she's the syndicate doesn't know that. If that makes sense.
Okay.
No.
So big revelation
So
from your mother. Your mother's been a loyal syndicate member for literally her whole life.
yeah.
It's shocking to
Um,
you.
so I take a different tact then, and I say to her, based on what I heard some of the officers over there saying as they were walking me to the transporter room, you somehow incapacitated an entire Vulcan ship. How in the world did you pull that off? I'm very impressed.
She just shakes her head and she says, again, the syndicate, they were making me test that device. They wanted me to take that entire crew of Vulcans with me. But the moment that I found out that two Federation officials were aboard that ship, which was after I attacked them, by the way, I had to return tail. I was not going to take the risk of stealing crew from a Vulcan high command ship with Federation officials aboard. That is way too much heat for me. But the syndicate, that's what the syndicate wanted. And now I don't know what to do because the syndicate's expecting Vulcan slaves and I do not have them.
I can potentially help you out here, Mother. I can.
You know what you can do? Take that
Let me put it this way.
Take that device, get it out of here. Because then at least I can tell them that at that point I can at least feign incompetence.
Are you sure you're going to be safe?
No, I'm
if that
not.
Is no longer in your
but that's
possession?
my problem, baby. Not yours. Did I lose y'all? Am I here?
I fear for you.
No,
I
no,
fear
we're
for you,
thinking.
Mother. I fear for you.
And she just kind of sighs and she just smiles at you and she says, I'm a tough old green gal. I'll keep being one. Don't you worry about me. And she kind of winks at you. My crew's not happy though. We had a lot of loot. That was a lot of good loot, but wait, I think I have a solution to both of our problems. Come with me. And then she starts to take you, and then like as you walk around the ship, you know at this point you have to kind of like just follow her lead because clearly her crew didn't know you were having this discussion with her.
Right. Okay.
And so she takes you to the bridge at first, and like y'all she kind of lets them see you and get like meet you kind of thing. And you can tell by the discuss, like the way they regard you, they're just like, one of them says, well, I hope you're worth about, and they list off some random number of currency that's exceedingly high. I don't know what Orion currency is. I don't think do they use Latinum? Probably. Well, whatever. She just like, oh, I just hope you're worth all that Latinum. Da-da-da-da. And then she just kind of, okay. And then she's like, y'all have the bridge. She and I are going to go do this. And so then she takes you to engineering to show you the device. Okay. Meanwhile, the Shran, like the reason y'all have the excuse to kind of stay in the area, like one of the crew members that's like kind of the person that's like in charge of transferring the cargo from their ship is like giving you some fun. Like they're being kind of, even though you have all the stuff, like it's like you're you're kind of, they're like, okay, you're good, and you're like, no, we have to account for every bit of it, and like y'all are taking your sweet time to do it. Your cargo person's
And
like,
we're down to condition yellow, by the way, right?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Red.
Yeah.
But but yeah, like basically they got like a clipboard, like a pad, and they're like going through every little item to account for it with that person. Like they're in communication with him over a little hail, and they're just like, so they're doing inventory, and this cargo guy's just like, oh my god, I hate my life. So y'all go down.
Well,
and
and I'm literally telling them, like, draw it out.
yeah, no, I knew you would. I knew you would, because that's the goal, is y'all need her to be nearby.
Yep.
So she takes you to engineering, and her crew is like, kind of, who's this? They seem to be a little out of the loop, and she says, it's my kid. And they're like, oh, is she the one we exchanged car? Well, she better be worth something on this freaking ship. Blah, 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 blah. They're all bitchy. They're all super bitchy. And they're not very nice to you because of it, because they know they had traded all this cargo for you. And she goes and takes you, like, kind of toward the device. And again, y'all are kind of secluded a little bit. They, like, they all stay away from y'all because they're mad anyway. And she shows you the device, and she says, get it out of here. If the syndicate asks, I'll tell them that y'all stole it. Like, that's what's going to happen, right? We can stage you stealing it from me.
So at this point, I'm kind of taken aback that my mother has not drifted as far evil as I thought she has, and I'm surprised and happy to hear that she actually is no longer part of the syndicate, because I thought she still was.
Yeah,
So
like you're getting the sense
my
that, like,
initial
she's
plan-
working against the syndicate, like, under the table somehow. She's just not telling you because,
Yeah.
one, it's safer for her not to tell you, and
Mhm.
two, but you know your mother well enough to know she's like, this is big. This is something
And
she's
she's
being
kind of in
truthful about.
danger. Yeah. So my
Yeah.
tact is changing, and rather than trying to put one over on her,
Yeah.
I am truly
Working with
concerned
her.
and want to help her. So at this
Yeah.
point, I guess at this point, I'm coming out twice in one episode, and I'm telling her that, okay, actually, Mother, you had taught me so well that I was trying to put one over on you, and I am actually Starfleet.
She just kind of nods at you, and she's like, I kind of figured. She said one of the reasons I turned around and got out of there was not just because of these, she mentions those officials again. She says, but also I saw that I was told on sensors that the Shran was coming, and I didn't want to get you involved in this. But here we are.
How does she know?
She's part of you'll find out one day. So she goes ahead and she kind of, like, she shows you this device. You get a sense of, like, generally how it works. The reason she wants you to steal it is she wants Starfleet to get a hold of it so they can counteract it. Because she explains to you that the syndicate, like, they've basically, like, of course, they've subjugated and enslaved scientists to make this. And they're very confident in it, and they're very happy with it, and they even killed a couple of the people that made it just so that, information stays quiet. So she's like, if you could take it and get Starfleet to find a way to disable it, like, whenever they make more of these, then what she's basically saying is they've already killed a couple of scientists, so they're kind of shit out of luck if you do that, because they won't expect it. And and so she sets you up, like, she kind of does what needs to be done to show you how to do with it, and, like, she gets you set up to beam it away, but she kind of tells you, okay, we have to work this out. So, and what she tells you is the plan is y'all need to have a very verbal fight, and you need to disarm her because you came over unarmed. You need to disarm her, take her own weapon, shoot her with it, and then signal the Shran to get you out of here. And then she gives you like almost like a little, like a Starfleet. It's actually a Starfleet badge. And she says, use this.
I thought I I had
And
stuck mine in my boot, remember?
well,
So
no,
I
she
still have
gives
mine.
you one to slap, and
Okay.
she slaps it on to the thing
Okay.
so that they have a pinpoint like thing. So
Oh,
she
for the
slaps that
device?
on the underside of it while nobody's looking. And then the two of you like kind of have a few minutes of whatever. So before you start to get into a fight, like what do you say anything else to her? Do you talk to her about anything else?
I just look at her and I say, Mother, you're risking a potential mutiny and putting yourself in so much danger. If anything happens and you need us to come to your aid, try and get a hold of me.
I've been doing this a long time. I will be just fine. But what I can't risk is your career and your future. I give I give all this up 100 times over and more just so that you continue on the path that you're on. And then that's when she shoves you. She suddenly shoves you back and then says, "How dare you?" So she's obviously instigating the fight that you're supposed to have. And a couple people kind of look over, that are way off in engineering. Like they kind of look around like pipes and corners to see what's going
I
on.
grab her hair and I throw her to the ground.
Yeah, like y'all, yeah. And she's like, and y'all start to get into this like physical fight. She's being convincing. She is making true contact with you. Like she's like trying to punch you, like I guess in the equivalent for a human in the kidney. But and she's not holding the punches back, but she's certainly not going full force. But she has to look like, she's scratching at you and
Right. Yeah.
everything. She's gonna draw some blood. So y'all are fighting and tangling.
Yeah.
And then are you going for a weapon yet? Or are you gonna give it a couple more seconds?
I
Like at this point, people are starting to kind of walk over and like, what's going on? Like
yeah,
this is
I
when
try
they're
and
starting to see the two of you. Like people are getting close enough to see the altercation. They weren't just hearing it.
I maneuver and I'm able to. I don't know if you're going to want me to roll for this, but I essentially want to get her into a position where my knee is on her neck and she's basically
I'm not gonna make you
incapacitated.
roll for it because she's
Okay.
going with the flow. You've sparred with your mother. You've been taught to fight with your mother. Like she taught you how to throw a punch. She taught you how to fight dirty. So she recognizes what you're doing and she's going with it, but she's still very convincing. She's still fighting you. She's actually fighting you to some degree. She has to be convincing in front of her crew. So you get your knee on her neck or on her chest or something.
Right. Like,
Okay.
yeah, basically pinning her with my knee and I have a free hand to reach for her weapon.
Yeah, like one of her crew members is about to come up to you, like they're actually about to come like start tackling you, and then like you suddenly have a weapon, and they kind of back off once they see you're holding it up, and they're like a few of them
And
are holding their hands up, like okay,
and then after pointing it at them to get them to back off, I then point it right at her head
Mm-hmm.
and lift her off the ground
Okay, and like she kind of
and then start.
yeah, she's like trying to shove off of you, and she like does the thing where she like gets
Mhm.
off of you, and then she just stands back from you, and then she says, "You tricked me. What is this? What are you here for?" She's playing the part. She's having an argument with you.
I'm Starfleet intelligence and I'm here for the device.
What? And she looks at it. She's like, "No, you can't take that. You can't take that. No, no." And there's your cue.
I set the weapon for.
Yeah, she's charging full speed at you.
I essentially, yeah, I aim as carefully as I can at her leg.
Yeah.
And I fire and then I
yeah.
make for the device.
Okay. And yeah, she gets a big wound in her leg, and then you slap, your own comm badge and the comm badge that she planted on the device, and shoop, 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 You're both out. And so you're back on the Shran. And one of the things she did tell you about, like, while y'all were having some discussions, is she did give you a better path out. Like, she gave you a more exact path so that the Shran would be able to, like, jet out really quick. So as soon as you get back, what happens? What do you do from there? Because I don't think the Shran kind of expected you to, like, bring the whole device over so quickly. So you and the device end up on the transporter pad. Because you know enough about the Shran's shield frequencies, you were able to break through, actually. That's how you got through quicker.
I contact Commander Jagar and I say we got to get out of here. To keep the ruse up, that was our goal, was just for the device. So
yeah. So do you and like I said, so she gave you better, like, flight path for YOLO. So do you send that to YOLO?
Oh yes.
Okay. So YOLO inputs that immediately and is like, okay, and she can already see how, like, much more precise it is than what you knew earlier because you were going off of old information. So YOLO just looks at the captain and she just, like, she's already input it and all this, and she's like, I'm ready to gun it. You
go.
All right. She, like, has, like, her little gear shift, you know, and she's like, boom, and, like, y'all start to, like, it's insane how fast YOLO goes. Like, YOLO the first time was, like, you know, very, you know, being very careful, but this time she just trusts what you gave her, and it paid off because she got right out. Like, in what took y'all probably, like, 30 minutes to pilot through, took her all of 2 minutes. So YOLO knew what she was doing, and then she immediately, like, punched it to warp without orders to, because she figured that's what y'all want to do. So okay, so you've stolen the device. When you return to the Vethic, it's kind of still the same status, but the Vasquez has started towing it to DS9. And when y'all arrive, like, they've just started to, like, they've just docked at DS9, and they've docked both the Vethic and themselves at the DS9, and they're assisting with the Vethic and all that. And there's all, you know, all kinds of stuff. I mean, again, the DS9 is still on lockdown, so they're docked, but they're not entering. But when y'all contact DS9 and tell them that you have the device that caused all this problems, they come out of lockdown. They come out of lockdown, and so they start messing with everybody on the Vethic. When y'all get there and everybody gets together after, like, a couple hours, like, everybody's been, like, pouring through this device. A Vulcan scientist figures out that like, he's like a medical scientist. He's figured out how to counteract the effects with Dr. Hoff assistance, how to counteract what happened with the device, because now they have the device, they were able to see kind of how it worked a bit more, like, even though it was quick, like, it's a very small amount of time to assess it. They're able to figure out, you know, based on what's in it, and if you synthesize these proteins and enzymes or whatever, and essentially dose the Vulcans with these, this should get them back together. Now, they're not all back up on their feet right away. It's kind of a, hey, everybody, you're going to take the next week or so to kind of, like, get your bearings, you know? Which is true of even your Vulcan crew members. And the Vulcans are are very appalled at the implications of what this device was for after your initial reports are filed. Because this is all within the first couple hours of y'all getting back. Like, everybody kind of figures out what was going on. You have some some meetings with, like, the captain and Shiv and Cisco and whoever, and the admiral. Like, you know, y'all kind of explain everything that's been going on. And they're very, the Vulcans especially, I mean, everybody's concerned that they were basically this is new, and this is immediately classified by these particular admirals that are here as classified information. Like, everybody that is now on, like, a, you can't talk about this because the Orion Syndicate can't know that we have this. But with the situation at hand, they're going to know. So they want to keep, like, it depends on how long, but they don't want them to know what happened, where the device went. So, like, within literally like a few hours, another Vulcan, like some other like bigger Starfleet vessels actually come in and they take the device like the next day, and they're gonna haul it back to Earth and futz with it, and get basically destroy it eventually. But so everybody's like told like do not talk about this ever again because we can't let the Orions know that we have this. That time is crucial. Blah blah blah. So everybody kind of comes. And now the thing is like within like this conference goes on. The people, Jagar, you go to this conference and you give in your input. Captain pats you on the back, job well done, dealing with the situation you had to deal with. Shiv is begrudgingly like, kind of, yeah, good job, because you and him have a slight rivalry. So he's a bit like, yeah, you did good,
Frenemies.
Yeah, he's not even frenemy. He's just like, yeah, you did a good job, but he won't necessarily say it. He just gives you that nod at some point, and you know what it means. Now, Uvana, you ended up getting a message. It has no name on it. It has no, there's no way to track where it came from. But all it says is, I'm safer than you know.
Okay. And I breathe a big sigh of relief, and then I message Commander Jagar, and I say, I could really use that drink right about now.
And there you
Quark.
go.
We're going to Quarks.
Going to Quarks. And that's the end of the episode.
Woo! We survived.
Yay!
I didn't blow us up.
Yay!
I tried.
Hooray for Deus Ex Machina.
Yay. Well, it's not Deus Ex Machina. It's just that I had planned. Okay, we'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah. Look, I also look at the clock and I go, okay, I gotta get them out of here soon too.
Yeah, that was weird. He had to speed things up.
If Jared had been able to play today, we would have gone a little long for him.
Yeah.
He can only do like, I think he needs to be cut like in the future. We might even try to do these like an hour or two earlier just to help with that too in the future.
Sure. Yeah.
For the Europeans. But yeah, good job, y'all. I hope, Uvana, that you enjoyed your spotlight episode a little bit. Like it's kind of a spot.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much of a spotlight on you as a character as much as it was like more of your backstory, like your history and your past.
Right.
Because to me, like a spotlight episode on your character would have been challenging your character like in a moral way, but I don't feel like you were challenged in a moralistic way. You were more of like, we were just learning more about you as a crew.
Yeah. I thought it was going to go a slightly different direction. I thought for a while there
you thought she was going to double down.
My mother was going to stay as an adversary of me as opposed to being secretly working behind the scenes there, which is cool too, because it's good to have that dynamic where she's going to be.
I debated on how evil your mother was, because I was like, I get the feeling she's thinking she's pretty evil, like Ivana thinks her mother's pretty evil, but I don't know if she is. That's kind of where I came from. Like she's better than you think. She just has to have a tough facade. You know what I mean? So let's go through.
She's the Dread Pirate Roberts, basically.
Yeah. She's kind of the Dread Pirate Roberts a little bit going on there.
Yeah.
So let's start with Dar's favorite moments of the session today, of the show today.
Well, I guess something that you painted yourself in the corner with, like we get a new, maybe not an antagonist, but a important NPC that may come back as a big part of the story.
There might be a whole plan with that character. In fact, you don't know. I don't know. So yeah, she definitely is an NPC I would certainly use again. So don't think she's gonna disappear. Like she's only gonna appear in one episode. Yeah. She will return. And then Uvana or Ariana.
I honestly, that whole plan of, okay, hold on, let's be a little sneaky here and get over there to get the device rather than trying to just negotiate our way and use the surprise of me being there was the most fun part for me because that didn't really even occur to me until we were already talking to her. So
Mhm.
it was just kind of a neat moment to it almost felt like being in the character's head of, wait a second, I could probably get over there and use this to our
Yeah,
advantage.
like I
And
could do something. I
it really
know.
felt like I was there when I was deciding to do that. So that was really cool. I like that.
Good. And then
Mhm.
Jen.
Yeah, I agree. Just honestly getting everybody sort of having their part today. But like really having Uvana in that moment of saying, "Wait, I'm gonna go get into clothes and go to the brig." And I was like, "Oh," like being on the same page in that moment was just like a
Yeah,
really
like
fun,
you knew where
like
she was going, and you were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I'll
I
take
know
you."
exactly
Mhm.
where what you're going for here, and
Yeah,
like
you just rolled
and
with
just
it. Yeah.
and having that just starting to feel those little pieces kind of
Come
come
together.
together was
Yeah.
just really cool. But being in command was terrifying, but like those moments, that was really fun.
It's tough. I'll tell you from experience. Like when I was doing, like when we do Vasquez, like okay, for our first season, like pretty solid. Like everybody was there for most episodes. Like once in a while, somebody had to miss one, whatever. But the second season, the player who plays our captain, Meyer, who plays Captain Sakir, he had tons of Saturdays that he was out because he was doing like some Star Citizen events, like the Stanton 7 or whatever, those races. He was like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he's one of like the sportscasters kind of people for that, like he's talking about what's going on instead of actually being one of the racers. So he had those. He was committed to those, and so like half of our second season, Baj was in charge of the Vasquez,
Hmm.
and I was kind of in the first couple episodes. I was where that happened. I was a little bit in your boat. Like I was like, oh, I gotta be in charge now, and I'm a Klingon in charge of a Starfleet ship. Like,
Right.
okay, and not only just like a Klingon, but a Klingon on the exchange program, like not an actual commissioned officer by Starfleet. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And so I would struggle sometimes with that. But after a while, you get kind of used to it. Like, like after an episode or two, I was like, okay, I got this when this happens. Like, it's not a big
Well,
deal.
and like realistically, this is the very first TTRPG that I've ever really played. And
Yeah, so
so
it's
this
like
is
it's that
like
that compounds it for you. I get it.
I'm just like, I don't want to fuck this up for people. I don't want to like,
Yeah.
there's that
It's
nerve-wracking
like
thing
in
of
Battlestar Galactica where the minister for education becomes
Yeah.
president. Yeah.
right. Yeah. And I'm just like, look, I'm just the goofball Klingon who likes to get into trouble.
Yeah, I
Like
didn't expect to
I
be like
Should be in
I'd make
charge.
Excel spreadsheets. I didn't expect to freaking captain the ship today. Yeah. Uh and that's the thing is like it's one of those things where you do it and then you get kind of used to it. But also like the crew, any good crew is basically like you'll say, "Oh, well this is what we're going to do." And if they think they can if they can think of something better or something to add on to it, they'll say it. Like
right.
you're rely on your other players to like just like make a
Right.
decision, but then like
Interject.
if
Yeah.
they can have something to add or change about it, they'll interject. They'll, oh,
Right.
wait, Captain, or wait, Commander. I just thought of
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
What if we
I
approach it from that
appreciated
angle?
I appreciated Darja's interjections when
Yeah, he's a good interjector.
I was like, "Thank you. Thank you for
That's
thinking of something
actually,
I may not have."
I think that's one of Darja's strongest like points as a role player or a player in these games. Is he's very good at like having that little Star Trek idea, like or that like the techno babbled thing.
Yes.
Like, oh, what if we reverse the polarity of the ions and like, like, oh yeah, Darz, it sounds good.
That's
Cool.
like half my repertoire.
Yeah, I know.
Don't give my secrets away.
Don't tell them about my tricks. But my favorite moment was being able to surprise Uvana about her mother. I was like waiting for that the whole time. I'm like, please, like, get in where your mother can admit to you that she's not as big of a dick as you think she is. I have a really cool idea for her in the future, and I want to say it out loud so bad, but I can't because it's like, oh, that would spoil it. Like, y'all would expect that from her in the future. So I think I have a really cool idea for her.
Yeah, don't spoil things for us.
Awesome.
We're as much of the
I know. I'm saying I
audience
wish I
to
could
this
say it out
as-
loud, but I can't because it would
know.
not only spoil it for y'all, the players, but also
Also,
audience.
being on yellow alert is draining our shields. Can we go back like
Oh,
that?
yeah. Oh wait, I went to the wrong one. By the way, I'm very happy with the place markers for disco and fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
That's what everybody's gonna be from now on when you're missing. Is like it's gonna be a
Oh,
picture
God.
of you close up with
Top.
like you're like
The
this, like,
forehead, yeah.
Just the forehead.
like just peeking over the fence like Wilson.
Mhm. Howdy, neighbor.
Howdy, neighbor. But anyway, that's that really. Thank you all for joining us, everybody here watching on Twitch. Thank you to those of you who are going to be watching on YouTube for watching it up.